I mean, it's Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? Are you kidding me? I thought this was a jitty. It looks like Saquon Barkley, John.
I don't know. You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Rough Wednesday for me, man. Milwaukee Brewers. You know, we'll talk about the Brewers later. Wow, ugly. Talking about some NFL futures here for the first few minutes before we get into baseball. Got Reyonlds here, frequent flyer over there on the Establish the Run show. If you're unfamiliar with that show, some sharp guys over there, really into NFL player props. And when they release a player prop over there, the line moves like that. Like there's some sharp guys. And to give you an idea of the type of things they're looking into, I rewound a couple weeks back and just clicked on a video that Ryan was in just to see what he was talking about. He was talking about, you're probably going to remember because it was like 2 weeks ago, Baker Mayfield talking about trading onto his MVP ticket specifically because he starts the season off with an easy schedule. So with the high possibility of trading out of that position after week 4 or week 5 or whatever you said. So if you're somebody that finds that interesting, they're looking at buy points, sell points. They're looking deep into the prediction market stuff. So if you're somebody that finds that interesting and you're trying to take NFL futures a little more seriously, you should give this guy a follow. Sharp guy. And coincidentally, I actually happen to know him from years. My cousin is married to his friend, and I started talking to him on Twitter, and I actually know him from years ago through his other crazy small world. So, Ryan, I guess the lead story, prediction markets, right? That's got to be in your world. That's got to be like the lead story all summer, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, man. I've been waiting, just like the way I operate with futures. Like I've always wanted reality-based cash outs, and I'm not entirely sure that's going to be the case here. You know, liquidity's a volatile thing. Like I think in the MVP market, you'll be able to trade off a position and get a good price on it. With some of the other ones, still remains to be seen. But being able to trade a position that you have in a futures market where you get something at long odds, someone has a good run, then you sell after that good run. I literally can't wait to see how all that unfolds. A good portion of my my bankroll is going to be devoted to that this year. So, you know, I can't wait. And like you said, Baker Mayfield, I'm not really a Baker Mayfield guy. I don't think Baker Mayfield's going to win the MVP, but I do think he's going to be very productive through the first month of the season. So I think there's a very good chance he'll gain some value in that market. And, you know, maybe there'll be an opportunity to trade off of him.
Yeah, I mean, it opens up. I clicked on the video and I watched for 5 minutes, and it was like, oh my God, I wouldn't even have thought to do that. Like, it makes complete sense. I would imagine eventually the markets will probably get on top of it, but I mean, this is all so new. So I've got graphics for the Seahawks here and graphics for the Lions, but I didn't actually write down which market it was. I just have some graphics to go along with. Oh, you know what? It was DeMarcus Lawrence for the first one, wasn't it?
Dexter Lawrence is one that I like.
Dexter
Lawrence. So we switched our Lawrences. That's fine. They're both, you know, two large gentlemen that rush the passer. That's an easy one to
So Dexter Lawrence. So my Seahawks graphics worthless. I made a bunch of Seahawks graphics.
We can lean into the Lions though. I can definitely make use of that graphic, pal.
Sure. Why don't we start with Jared Goff then? Because I have those.
So same premise as Baker Mayfield. Jared Goff's 35-1 in most MVP markets right now. Detroit has a very easy schedule, 10.5 game win total. Goff's been adjacent to contending for the MVP multiple times in his career, so I'm not sure if he wins, but I do think there'll be points in the year where he has better, shorter odds than 35-1. So I think I have a 3 or 4 unit position on him on Kelce, I believe it is the market I got in on with, where I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to sell it. But if he has like a good 3 or 4 week run out, I can see that being 15-1 and, you know, maybe doubling, tripling my money up in the next month or two.
So I'm pulling up the Lions schedule now. You said you don't have a position, a specific week in mind. You're just saying at some point you think it'll be higher than that.
Yeah, with him, like Detroit has such a soft schedule. I think like after their bye is a good time, you know, especially if they beat Buffalo. If they start off 5-0, like I'm probably going to get out then. Then in the middle of the year, like Tampa, Chicago, Atlanta, Tennessee, that's another really good run against soft pass defenses. So I could see him lighting it up for a month there too. Those are like my 2 general windows that I'm targeting for him.
So Jared Goff, MVP, you think you can get out at a profit in one of those two windows. Makes sense. That's cool. And the other one is Dexter Lawrence. I'll just bring up the Giants schedule for that because I don't have graphics for the Giants. But Dexter Lawrence, DPOY? Is that what I saw?
Yeah. They traded him to the Bengals.
Oh my God.
All good.
I'm still in baseball mode, man.
That's all good. That's all good, man. Earlier in the offseason, he was 500 to 1 on FanDuel, which is like absolutely absurd. Like maybe the worst mistake I've seen an odds maker post on someone in quite a while. 500 to 1 for that guy is crazy. 2 years ago, he was in the hunt despite being on a sub 500 Giants team. He's one of the best interior defensive tackles in the league when he's healthy. You know, we're looking so far so good on him on his health wise. So he's with Cincinnati. Joe Burrow can carry any team to relevance. You know, they're I think their win total's 10.5 off the top of my head. So team success matters in these awards. If Dexter Lawrence even flirts with being the lead leader in sacks as an interior defender on a playoff team, even if he doesn't win the defensive player of the year, he's going to be in the 10-20 to 1 range. And, you know, again, in prediction markets, you can get off of him at those points potentially.
So what is it currently sitting at right now?
He's 100 to 1 at most books right now. I still think that's doable. You know, he was. I don't like betting bad lines. Like getting him at 500 to 1 was, you know, again, ridiculous. But if you ask me, Reyonlds, can I still bet on Dexter Lawrence 100 to 1 in the defensive player of the year market? I would say I think you can, especially in the prediction market.
You got 500 to 1.
Yeah, man.
Nicely done. Now, so next week or whenever you're free to come back on again, we'll load up a few more topics. If somebody wanted to follow along, do you have a regular schedule you're on over there?
I release awards content bi-weekly on Tuesdays, and I release Survivor content on Thursdays in season. I'll have my Survivor preview coming out soon. I believe in the last 2 years that's been free, so I'll post that on Twitter. If you're a Survivor pool player, I go through the whole schedule. I tell you, you know, which insertion points work for most teams. It's a pretty good read.
I entered the Circa Survivor for the first time this year. Man, I used to love the Survivor pools back in the day, and then you talk to one of these like super sharp math guys, and you hear their strategy, and you're like, "Oh fuck that! I'm never winning." It's like I have no shot. These guys are crazy. So that's his Twitter handle right on the screen. I said Tuesdays you do a weekly thing for futures, and then you have Survivor stuff coming out as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And open invitation. Shoot me a message anytime you want to come on. We'll pick out a few new topics. So that's his Twitter handle. Give him a follow. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks, man. I expect to be a regular. If anything, Kyle.
No, for sure. You know what's crazy is you would think college basketball and baseball. I'm deep. I have like 5 or 6 guests I love bringing on. I'm surprisingly short in the NFL department. I don't know. It should be the easiest one. I actually have trouble finding guests, as crazy as that sounds. So, yeah, open invitation, truly.
Sounds good, pal. We'll be in touch soon, man.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Ladies, man.
All right. Oh, whoops. Let's switch over to 4 people. We got me. All right, let's invite the Stooges. Trevor needs to answer for what the Brewers did today. I can't even believe it. What do you think Trevor's going to say? He's going to come on and say something like, it's just one loss, right? I can already hear Trevor's excuse. I'm actually excited to hear what it's going to be. You already know Trevor's coming with a huge Brewers excuse. Let's see, 54. We got 6 minutes. Hold on, they can't hear you yet. Now they can.
Oh, so, you think I'm gonna go ahead?
Well, I was going to ask, what do you think Trevor's excuse is going to be?
Oh, you think I'm worried about losing a game on a Wednesday with the best record in baseball?
Something like that. Yeah, he'll have something planned. I'm sure he has a whole skit planned. Honestly, I threw my tweet out at the Brewers, but the Braves deserve some of my anger as well. I thought those were solid, cheap prices. But you know what? since the All-Star break, I'm lucky to be up in the month of August because since the All-Star break, there's been several times where I'm taking what I think is a good number, and then the game's about to start, and it's still sitting at the same number. So these markets are just really sharp right now.
I had Detroit plus 144. Jansen gives up 2 homers in the 9th for me to lose. I had the Braves minus 104.
I had that one too.
In Atlanta, obviously we know Atlanta. Arizona came through for me. I had Toronto at plus 194. They score 6 runs and lose. And then the Milwaukee disgrace.
Speaking of which, perfect timing. TV Jones pops up on the screen as soon as it comes up. So, Jones, look, I'm not here to attack you.
I might.
That's fine. You guys coming at the number 1 team in baseball.
Did you see a couple of actually, there was only a couple that that were angry at my tweet.
Well, fuck them. I mean, we got the best record in baseball. Dustin May had his worst outing of the season. It happens. Guess what? We still almost won that game. We had so many guys on. We put 5 runs. It is what it is. Running right back to him tomorrow because you guys are fools. You'd be like, oh, George Kirby's going to shove. Robert Gasher, that guy's trash. You just watch. Mariners got lucky. They scored a month's worth of runs. They ain't scoring again.
Well, I got to say, Trevor, so first of all, I can't stay mad at the Brewers because of what they did for my over yesterday. That was my biggest bet of the day, and they single-handedly got it. And I got to say, I felt it. When the Brewers were coming back, remember, it was like 7-2, then it was 7-4, then it was 7-5. And I was sitting there thinking, if the Brewers come back and win this game, I might be a Brewers guy. Like 2 days in a row, the Brewers single-handedly saved my day. But no, it didn't quite happen. So not a Brewers guy. Just no, not a Brewers guy.
That's fine. We don't want your kind. Ride or die.
Speaking, we didn't even address it. Toast thought he was going to dodge this bullet. Mets take the series as if that was in doubt. I thought that we had a good chance to sweep. We didn't get the sweep, but we did win the series over the Padres. Toast, San Diegans in piss, you think?
I am. I lost. I went 1-4. The Brewers.
I went 1-3.
Shit the bed. The Mets whooped up on the Padres. It's not great, Bob.
Yeah, I went 1-3 myself. With the Braves and Brewers killed me. My only win was tailing one of Spoon's first 3 unders. Actually,
I would like to report the Cubs are also in piss today. Watching that game was so frustrating. What should have been like a 1-1 game? You have a runner on second, no outs. The pop fly into the outfield barely made it like 200 feet. What are you doing sending him there? Oh my God. One of the most frustrating watches of the year. Both first 3 unders cash.
Did they say anything after the game? I didn't watch, but I just don't understand. Obviously it's ridiculous, but I truly don't understand what the thought process there.
After the game, I saw media on PCA talking about his relationship with Hayden Panettiere, the actress that just passed away, because that used to be his babysitter. That was the big news there. So
that used to be his
didn't catch
babysitter?
anything on that.
Yeah, his mom was an actress.
She was awesome in Remember the Titans. She was such a good actress.
Who was she in Remember the Titans?
She's the daughter. She's 9.
Girl.
The girl.
She's the little girl.
Yeah, she was awesome in that.
Not cool that she passed, but
it was that and then Heroes that I remember her from.
I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
I didn't recognize the name, and then when I Googled her, I was like, oh, Remember the Titans.
PCA as a little kid, that was probably the best life. I can't imagine having Hayden Panettiere as your babysitter. Constantly,
she was great in Heroes.
Yeah, I did. I never saw that one.
You never saw Heroes?
But all right. Well, actually, never mind. We don't have to rush. We only have 9 games. I have a lot of college football topics to talk about, but we only have 9 games, so scratch that. Spoon, I
have a question though. Spoon, do you really think the Cubs should have won that series? Today is the game they play. They hit 2 solo shots in each of the first game, and then 1 in a walk-off. They talk about lucky. No home runs today. I knew they were screwed. I should have doubled down on the
You put yourself in a position to win, and then you follow through. TV Jones, I don't know what you're looking for. It's called manufacturing W's.
Oh.
Okay, comebacks. You have the most comebacks in MLB. That's not being good. That's just luck. You got Lady Luck up your ass this year.
Trevor, take that damn jersey off. I'm already tired of looking at it. We're not even started.
I actually saw a comment that perfectly summed up TV Jones Toast. I should have sent it to you. It came in a couple hours ago, and it said, I love TV Jones, but he's the only person in the world that when a pitcher gives up 3 runs, they got bent over. Unless he's a Brewer, then it was a quality start.
Yep.
Hey, sometimes you got to bend the rules a little bit.
6 innings, 3 runs is getting bent over if you're not a Brewer. If you're a Brewer, it's a quality start.
It's quality, man. Save the
You could
bullpen.
also-
We're gonna be good to go.
You could also go 8 innings of 1-run baseball, and if your team loses, that's also a bad start.
Lose day.
Is what it
Yeah,
is.
hey, if your offense can't back you up on your start day, it's what are you gonna do about it?
So, I am coming off a losing day. I'd like to get a lick or 2 back. Spoon, I'm seeing 4 first 3 graphics here. So here come the angry comments, even though he went 2-0 with his first 3s yesterday and he's winning. They're close. They're beating the close by 30 cents, but comments don't like it. Is it actually, Spoon, this is one of your first 3, so why don't you take it away?
Yep. First 3 under here. Pretty good prices still across the board. There's a plus 105 out there. I think this is going to close in the like minus 115 to minus 125 range. We are in Cincinnati Small Park where runs can be plentiful. It doesn't model that high tomorrow on the board. So not super scared by the weather or anything. Michael McGravy on the road has pitched very well this season. He's a guy that puts a ton of balls on the ground, which is helpful here. You don't want to put too many in there. Brady Singer has adjusted to getting a lot more ground balls as well. The way that Cincinnati's offense is hitting right now, like the spreadsheets are all red here. I don't see any reason 30th full season, 29th, last 14 days that Michael McGreevy gets hit up. I think this is going to close well. I don't see a bunch of runs early. I don't see a bunch of runs late. I just don't want to get involved with either of these bullpens. They're both pretty taxed over the last 3 days.
So, Toast, Spoon seems to think both of these starting pitchers get off to a good start here. Who would you trust more?
McGreevy. I love the Cardinals tomorrow. I guess love is a strong word, but I really like them tomorrow. I think they have the advantage in the offenses, I guess you could call a wash, but I honestly believe that actually it's not even really close to a wash. I thought it was a little bit closer, but I think you have an advantage in all 3 phases of this game. Brady Singer is starting to, kind of revert back to like mediocre.
The pumpkin.
I didn't want to say pumpkin because it is 6 innings of 3-run baseball consistently. That's not terrible. So he is. It's not bad, but he was performing at a much higher level at the beginning of the year, and he's starting to come back into the form, the Brady Singer that we kind of know and love. And I do think that guys like Weatherhold and Burleson and stuff like that, and they have multiple lefties that can get to him, which is obviously a bugaboo for him. And then Spoon went over McGreevy. I think that he should continue to pitch well. He has a couple like weird bad starts, like the Cubs start was where he gave up 7 runs in an inning and a third. He got hit up by Arizona, but it's a lot of 6-inning baseball of 1 or 2 runs there. It's been over 130 innings for him with a 122 whip, a 348 expected. So again, not one of those guys that really lights up the spreadsheets, but like Spoon talked about, gets a crap ton of ground balls, which I think plays to this Reds team that can't hit for dick. And then he talked about the bullpens. The Cardinals bullpen, who's been actually performing pretty well, is rested. They got everybody. They didn't use anybody today. And the Reds had to use everybody. So now Pagan, Burke, May, Mole, all true of the last 3 days. I don't think that we should be getting the Cardinals at plus money here. I've already bet the Cardinals. I don't remember what number I got. Plus 100 or something.
Can you still get plus 100? Because if there's a plus in front of it, I got to say I don't hate what you were putting down. The idea of taking the Cardinals at anything over 50% on the road irks me a little bit.
Sorry, I got it minus 105. I lied.
Yeah, it's plus 105. I'm there.
I honestly in my head thought I got plus 105.
Let's send it over to the voice of reason. Tell us your thoughts here, Jones.
Somebody's got to do it. Yeah, I like the Cardinals with old Toast there. McGravy, I will say, little. Oh no, I didn't close the wrong tab. Anyway, sorry. I got to scroll back up. McGravy, yeah, he's been a little suspect as of late. 3 earned, 2 earned, 7, 4, 2, and not been great on the road this season. 355, that's fine. The whip is down, but strikeout rate's up, but the walk rate about the same there as well. They've won 3 straight. He's given up 3, 3, and 2. He's given up 5. I'm sorry. They've gotten 3, 3, 2. He's given up 5, but he's also given up a home run every game, multi-walks in a bunch of those for the last 5. Strikeout numbers are down. The Reds, I'm not saying are going to light him up, but I do think McGravy kind of gives up a little bit. But Brady Singer on the other side too, he's been giving up home runs, walks, earns for as long as you can remember. He's the definition of a rollout bet give you 3 guy. And now he's going to go here against this Cardinals team that they didn't look good today, but that bullpen got used up. I know the Cardinals did a little bit too, but they've still got their better arms available compared to what Cincinnati used today. And if Cincinnati puts up 5 again tomorrow, I'll be shocked. So I like the Cardinals. I just haven't moved on this game yet.
Can you still get that plus 105, Spoon?
I saw minus 112 when I just looked
For that first 3 Caesars?
Yep.
Oh, my bad.
All right.
So like part of the tax bullpen really works into like Caesar specifically bad numbers. Like they use just the full game number and they split it. Like a 9's always going to be plus money when they first open it up, and then they'll adjust it from there. Some books seem to do like a little more thought, like bottom up with it, but like a tax bullpen should never affect the first 3 number, and it does on that book right now.
Yeah, it's just a derivative of the full game total, or could be a step further would be if they're pricing them as just a derivative of the first 5 total, in which case you could look at pitchers' numbers first time through the order, batters' numbers first time through the order, maybe find something there. All right, let's move on to next up. We go. Oh, whoops! I got set up for 3 people here. Switch my template. Giants Guardian. Oh my God, who cares about this series? Toast probably cares.
I mean, I enjoy watching Joe Adele hit home runs and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I think the Guardians kill him tomorrow, but do I have any interest in laying this number? Absolutely not. I know that the Guardians laid an egg today. I know that they took a whole bunch of money too. I can't remember what sports scientist Jacob got him. I think it moved like 40 cents or something like that. So probably definitely left a sour taste in some people's mouth. But for me, I just don't really trust what I'm seeing from Landon Rupp right now. And he's going to be facing a whole bunch of lefties, obviously, as we know, with Cleveland. And I think that's definitely a concern with him. I don't really know how deep he's going to go into this game. And then if that's the case, we're going to get a whole bunch of shots at this bad Giants bullpen, excuse me. The reason I think that Gavin Williams goes 6 or 7 innings of 1-run baseball. I think he absolutely shoves coming off a really bad start against San Diego. The issue is that I just don't trust this Cleveland bullpen, and I don't really think this team's that great in particular. So I don't really have any interest laying the number, but I do think that they win going away.
TV Jones, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but wasn't Gavin Jones one of the guys you declared sucks?
Cash it.
Oh my God. I was moving my shit around and it was making noise. But yeah, I did proclaim Gavin Williams sucks. He was borderline on the part of the sucks club with Skeens and Joe Ryan. Did not quite make it. I mean, he's been somewhat respectable lately. I wouldn't say he's been the man.
No, he hasn't been as sharp recently, Toast. I'm not Gavin saying he sucks is extreme, but I think TV Jones saying he hasn't been as sharp recently, I think is an accurate take.
Yeah, he's got some 6 walks the last 2 games. He's given up some runs. There, I will say on the road, not the spot you want to back him. At home, he's been fine, but they're also 1-5 in his last 6 starts. Their runs scored 5, lost 3, lost 5, and a win 0-1-1. I mean, they're scoring some runs and they give it up. Is San Francisco gonna be the one that's gonna light them up? They scored 1 today and barely hung on for dear life to win that game. I don't think this is going to be a spot where Gavin Williams gets hit up or anything like that, but I can't lay this price with Cleveland. Cleveland. So if I had to pick anything here, gun to my head, sorry, I got the pop-ups popping up. Gun to my head here, I'd take an under, but I don't know if I trust both pitchers enough for an under, but I do think San Francisco doesn't show up, and we'll see about Cleveland. But I think an under, and it would be Cleveland, but I'm not laying $1.70 or whatever the hell they are now.
What do you think, Spoon?
I like Cleveland here as well, but like I could only do it on a run line where you're laying -1.5, and plus 125 just isn't enough for me. So I think Trevor hit on it. The under is the best edge in this game. You have maybe Dylan Smith unavailable for San Francisco tomorrow, but every other arm will be ready to go. Landon Rope's been up and down this season, but I don't see this Cleveland lineup really destroying him to the point where like it kills the under. And on the opposite side, I think Gavin Williams absolutely going to shove. I have 4 walks in the last game, not great at all. San Diego's offense got really hot. They got 5 earned off him in just 4 innings. Yes, that's a bad start, but this guy's been going out and giving us quality start after quality start. And when he does have a bad start, like Pittsburgh, where he went 6 innings, gave up 5 earned runs, he follows it up with really good ones, like versus Minnesota, where he came back out 0 earned runs over 7 innings. I think Gavin Williams right now is one of the better arms in baseball. I think he's really trustworthy. I think he's the anchor for this under. First 5 -0.5 is pretty expensive. I was expecting that to be plus money. It's already -120, so there's no value there at this point. Full game under. You're trusting Gavin Williams to go out there and have a really good game. Maybe his out prop too. That wasn't open the last time I checked.
I got to say, I'm pretty surprised you guys are going that direction with it. I'm not saying, look, I don't have much interest in the game, but what is Cleveland, 3-8 in their last 11 games? Gavin Williams hasn't looked as sharp. In what world does Cleveland ever be priced at 60% against anybody?
And it's getaway day. Swinging. Free swinging.
So why don't you have Giants underneath your name, Jones?
Because I can't stomach that.
Cleveland's about to go to Coors without rest after this.
All right, we'll fade them then. But I'm not. Well, I mean, I can't. I think Cleveland wins. I'm not paying the price. I mean, I can't argue if you want to take a stab
Cleveland's
on that. But I think the
4
under is
and
just
10.
a better play.
Cleveland is 4-10 in their last 14 games. In what
they're
world?
ass.
The Giants have actually. No, I'm not going to talk myself into the Giants. But that's
You're
the way
gonna
I'm
hate yourself watching that game.
I won't be watching. I won't be betting or watching. God damn it. 3 people.
What's up?
Next up. Next up, Spoon. Another first 3 for us. Toronto, Tampa.
Yeah, first 3 under 2.5 -122. I think this one closes closer to -140. We have a Tampa Bay team that the offense, I mean, the numbers on paper are still a little bit inflated here with their recent body of work just from that West Coast road trip where they hit a bunch of offensive parks, but they're not going to hit Shane Bieber. He looks really sharp out there, the healthiest he's been this season right now. On the opposite side, Ian Seymour, a guy I trust a little bit less. Toronto just cannot hit lefties right now. I struggle to see how this full game gets over, but definitely in the first 3, I expect a lot of these 7.5s to close closer to the -140 number, and I don't see this total going up to 8. Toronto, I don't see any path to them in this game. I think this is a Tampa Bay win spot. Lock it in, as Jacob would say, but that first 3 under, I think this one closes well as well.
So you lean towards you think the Rays should be a little bit more heavily favored, but you're on the first 3 under.
Yeah, make this 180 for Tampa Bay.
Toast, you've been kind of preaching the Blue Jays the last couple days, or 2 days ago you did. I think you leaned towards the Blue Jays. Yeah, you leaned towards the Blue Jays
I bet
today.
that's right too. Yeah, and I'm going to keep on betting them. I love you, Spoon, but I couldn't disagree more. First and foremost, I agree that this Toronto offense versus left-handed pitching has been piss poor, and Ian Seymour has been just fine. But it's going to. I mean, you could look at the names on the list of the starting left-handed pitchers that the Blue Jays have seen: Ryan Weathers, Peyton Tolley, Ranger Suarez, Jesus Luzardo, David Peterson, Matthew Liberatore. Alvarez has actually been pitching decent. Ranger Suarez again. This Seymour kid. TV Jones's boy, K. Manaea, who's been pitching good. The only really actual bad name on the list is Mackenzie Gore, essentially. So I think it's a little bit of a step down in class for a Blue Jays team that continues to play well. I know they lost today. They scored 6 runs and lost. They're still 7-4 their last 11. They're still playing really good teams like Philly, Boston, New York. And like I talked about, I'm not really impressed with what the Rays have done. Congratulations, you got me on a plus 200 or whatever it was with Toronto today. But again, and then you can look at the bullpen situation. You have Baker,
Kelly, Wells, all 2 of the last 3, all decent pitch counts as well. You can go. I'm sorry. 2 out of the last 3. Excuse me. And then Boozer only had 5 pitches, but 34 on Monday. Like, it's already a bullpen that's kind of reeling at the moment. A Toronto bullpen that has all your major pieces rested and available. A bullpen that's been better for a while now than this Rays bullpen. I'm going to be on Toronto tomorrow. I have not bet them yet because Tampa Bay continues to take money the first and second game, so I'm going to wait. But I will be betting the Blue Jays again tomorrow.
Instead of that, why not just go here, Toast? Can you see the screen?
No, it's all black. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I can see that now.
Toronto's 16 runs in the last 2 days. Toronto's starting to play well. Rather than put any faith at all in Shane Bieber, plus 110 to get to 4 runs with 9 full at-bats as the road team.
I don't hate that at all.
TV Jones is the former Blue Jays whisperer. He has since
Former?
Former. You're not.
It's former.
Yo, wait, look at the bullpen.
I said that.
Yeah, but you didn't really enunciate it.
Yo.
I needed to see it with my own eyes. Jones, what are you doing here, Jones?
First, I want to address something. Spoon, how do you expect Bieber to look good in this? I mean, sure, the Rays bat's been a little suspect. What is Bieber? The Biebs on the road? Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Dude, the Biebs has been terrible on the road, man. Pulling it up right here. Yeah, I mean, listen,
he had a bad day in Philadelphia, and then like a once in a lifetime bad start in Washington. That's what we're judging it off of.
That was a bad Washington team without. Remember, they made the trades and everything else. Like, this is post All-Star break Washington, not pre All-Star break. On the road, he has not been good.
No, that's not true at all. That's James Wood, Garcia, Cruz, Abrams, all in the lineup that day.
That was before. Yeah, that was before.
Fake news.
It was like July, whatever. It was around that time, early, whatever, late July, early August. My apologies. Whatever. He still sucks. 8.27 road ERA, 2.18 road whip, 16% strikeout, and a 16% walk rate. That's the key number there. There's the walks on the road. 3 at Philly, 2 at Houston, 6 at Washington, 3 at San Diego, 3 in Seattle. And this Rays team last 2 weeks,
he gets healthier.
Not on the road.
Not on the road. All those stores, he's an indoor cat, TV Jones. All those stores are outdoor.
Actually, fun fact, we discussed this on my show. He was an outdoor cat transitioning into an indoor cat.
Oh, God.
He was in Cleveland. And then when you make your rehab starts, you're not pitching in a dome. He's been an outdoor cat. Now he's adjusting. Now he's going back into an indoor facility here. I just don't think he's going to look too sharp tomorrow. I think he's going to walk a lot. I mean, this Rays team is a team that can walk, a near 10% walk rate the last 2 weeks versus righties. They got 4 off of Bradish, 3 off of Bassett, 3 off of Barnett, 2 off of Kirby, 4 off of Gilbert, 2 off of Sagano. I mean, they're drawing walks home or on the road. It doesn't really matter. I'm not saying Seymour is going to be flawless here, but I like a Rays team total over, and I can't really argue you off of taking Toronto on the money line. I really can't. But I think the Rays get some runs off.
How about we just go over 7.5? We can get a minus 108, Jones.
That's a direct game total that goes against my rules, but I did take an under today and I got blasted in Boston. So Rays team total, just put her up for me. I don't know the price. I did not see it when I looked earlier. It might be up now. It wasn't up when I looked earlier.
I have it right here. I was just looking.
4.5 plus 105.
All right. Yeah, I don't hate that or taking a stab on Toronto. It is a good price. I'm not saying the Rays are a $1.52 favorite, but I do think they can take advantage of the Biebs here.
So I'm down to fade Bieber. And if I'm fading Bieber and the Rays bullpen is taxed, I don't know why I don't just take the over. I'm going to take the over. I don't care. I don't know what he was talking about with indoor cats, outdoor cats, but I like this over.
Yeah, I mean, we've been over that. But I will say, if this gets up to like 160, 165-ish, I don't know how I can't take Toronto.
Oh, my God. The minus 108 just disappeared. Oh, man. The over is taking money right now while we're talking.
Oh, yeah. It'll be 8. It's 15. It's 115 across the board on most recs. So pretty good chance it's 8s in the morning.
The minus 108's disappeared right in front of my face. I got minus 111. All right. I'm on the over.
All right, fine. I'll do it with you. God, this loses.
No, I'm not trying to peer pressure you. I don't know. Indoor cat, outdoor cat. I don't speak the language. I don't know what you're saying, but I like the over.
You don't want to get involved in TV Jones with an over.
You're right.
Don't go against your rules.
Yeah. It's chapter 3.
I am a man of principle.
Athletics Royals in Kansas City. Dobnik, TV Jones, big fan of Dobnik, aren't you?
I love the Dob, man. This guy is great. I mean, this is actually this might even be better than Brewers Cubs. I mean, we get my guy versus Spoon's guy here. I mean, this is must see TV. Randall Dobnik, I mean, Ben Elite, he had a bad showing against the Cubs. Whatever. It was in Kansas City. They moved the fences in, whatever. So be it. Gave up 4. But other than that, he's been the lights out, giving you 5, 6. He gave you a 7 at Minnesota there too. He doesn't give up any runs. He has had a few walk issue games, 3, 4, and 3, but ground ball rate of almost 56% this season, a fly ball rate of 20%. He's been fantastic. I don't really know how you can go against them here with this Oakland team that can hit. They had a 4-run lead today, and they got run line still. Insane. This team is terrible. I will say they are not striking out the last 2 weeks, sub 17% strikeout rate. Lucky for Randall, that's not what he does. And then the Royals, I mean, they got a near 26% strikeout rate. That's not good, but the A's bullpen has to enter eventually. And I know the Royals bullpen has to as well. But I trust the Royals bullpen far more than I trust the A's bullpen. I mean, again, tonight, pointing the whole reason why you can't trust them. I will say Randall's expected numbers, very bad. 4.57 expected ERA, a 4.32 xFIP. But Mr. Gage jump a 4 xFIP, a 4.30 expected ERA, 4.23 Sierra too. About the same for both of these guys. But the ground ball rate, nowhere near for Mr. Gage jump. And this Royals team, Caglione has been ripping the cover off the ball. I mean, they've been scoring runs. So I'm only going to be playing the Royals here if I have to, but I really despise laying juice with them. But it is Randall, and I do expect him to absolutely just deal up some ground balls for the defense to work with.
You already know Spoon is not going to like you taking a stance against Gage Jump. Spoon, I spy a first 3 graphic here, which means I guess you think Gage Jump's going to pitch well.
Yeah, so Dobnik's my guy as well. Like, since the first time I saw the sports goggles, I knew he was going to bring us value. You always get value with a guy like that. I have no complaints about anything we've seen from Dobnik all season, even 4 versus the Cubs that day. That was like very offensive weather. I don't make anything bad of that. Like, 4 in 5 innings pitched is not a terrible game. It's even going to lose it for your team. Here, I think Gage Jump gets a really weak Kansas City lineup, batting in the bottom 10 in all statistics over the last 30 days, full season, 14 days. Gage Jump's going to see a bunch of righties in this lineup tomorrow. Bobby Witt, Miguel Garcia. Some of his splits don't look great. If you just remove him and look at like his road lefty-righty splits, he's excellent at getting righties out. I don't think there's going to be any issue in this Kansas City lineup for him tomorrow. This first 3 under, I paid -105 for. I think this closes pretty well. This is going to be one of the more pitcher-friendly environment Gage Jump has seen. And as far as the Athletics go, this offense has just taken so many steps back since the beginning of the season. I think Dobnik pitches really well. First 5 under, first 3 under. I wouldn't do a full game under with these 2 bullpens. The only reason this number is as high as it is because of those bullpens.
I think the variance is too high because I agree with you. Like, these 2 pitchers, first 3 under sounds nice, but I feel like if one of them is off, they're getting smoked. And it's like this. We've seen it with Gage Jump a couple times. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dobnik get smoked either. So, Toast, where do you land on this one?
It would be first 5 under or pass. I'm not going to bet it. I just wanted to mention Gage Jump's home road splits really quick. Gage Jump at home, 6.02 ERA, 166 whip. That's obviously terrible. But on the road, 260 ERA, 118 whip. He's been pretty damn good on the road. And then Dobnik, I mean, a short sample at 32 innings, but a 169 ERA, a 128 whip. Fills the strike zone up. He's been really impressive and gets almost 54 or over 54% ground balls, which is really impressive. These teams are very, very offensively struggle offensively. Excuse me. I'm not betting it, but I don't think we see a lot of runs.
How crazy is it that the Royals are not out of the playoff hunt right now?
That's the AL. That's why you keep saying the White Sox are the best team in the AL.
The Mets would be like 3 games out of a playoff spot in the AL.
Still out of the playoffs in the AL? That's insane.
That's insane. All right, let's do the Prize Picks segment. Show's brought to you by Prize Picks. Toast, I got one for you, and I'll read mine off because I didn't get a chance to send it over. So this is what Toast has sent in.
Another winner today for me. I'm on a little bit of a roll here, so I appreciate the messages. My two for today, Alec Burleson higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I really like his matchup in Cincinnati with great weather tomorrow as well. And then Pete Alonso higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. I like his spot tomorrow against Garrett Cole. He kind of got screwed today.
Rob.
I think he comes back with a vengeance tomorrow. Those are my two for tomorrow.
And Claude's favorite two up here are actually Randy Dobnik, higher than 1.5 walks. Kyle Bradish, higher than 2.5 earned runs. That should be a pretty serious size swing there from Claude. That's brought to you by Prize Picks. Play $5, get $150 if you win. That's by using the promo code HMA. Link is also in the description. Damn it, 3 people again. Come on. Oh, well, all right. So it's actually Braves White Sox. So Toast, I think we all had the Braves. Unbelievable loss. How do you get swept by the Twins? Should Braves fans like Sheed in the comments be upset?
I mean, I would be. I mean, there's a lot of Braves fans that I know that think that the playoffs are guaranteed, and the way that this team's playing right now, I'm not so sure because that bullpen's not getting better, and those bats don't seem to be getting any better either. I know that they have a nice little lead there, but there's a lot of baseball left to be played. I would be a little bit worried if I was them. I like the White Sox tomorrow. I don't really understand why anybody's trying to back Atlanta at this point. I mean, their offense is essentially inept. Their pitching as a whole has been just absolutely terrible. I know that Grant Holmes has popped up in certain spots lately against New York and Miami, but really not a guy that have really been impressed with. And I mean, some of the numbers are somewhat okay, but it's still essentially like a 1.4 whip with a 4.86 expected ERA. He doesn't strike anybody out. He walks people. And this White Sox team has continued to play well. I don't feel like Trevor that they're the best team in the AL, but we will find out very soon. But again, I think that they're offensively better than Atlanta. I think that Anthony Kay is pitching just as good, if not better, than Grant Holmes right now. I mean, Anthony Kay is at least going, into the 6th innings in some of his starts. Not all of them, but he has a White Sox bullpen that is significantly better than the Atlanta bullpen. Rested or not, this Atlanta bullpen is not getting outs right now in any way, shape, or form. So does it suck that Grant Taylor's probably not available on back-to-back days? Yeah, but I still don't really think that matters. I can't underestimate how bad this Atlanta bullpen has been. I really want to bet the White Sox. I haven't yet, though.
Something to keep in mind in this one. So this is not a scheduled game. This is a makeup game. So the Braves were in Minnesota today. They fly to Chicago for this one game and then immediately fly to Milwaukee. So this is like a weird scheduled game. This is supposed to be a day off for both of these teams. So the Braves are playing 3 baseball games in 3 different cities in 3 days, which is unusual. Just something I thought I'd add. Also, major look-ahead spot for both teams. The Braves, one of the biggest series. I mean, they're going to Milwaukee. Those are the 2 best records. Brewers, Dodgers in the NL. Huge series for the Braves right on deck. So I don't hate this as a little shitty schedule spot for the Braves, but the White Sox also have a behemoth coming to town the next day. Mets are in Chicago to play the White Sox. So
I'm betting the White Sox right now
on against the Braves.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to get plus money much longer.
What do you think, Jones?
Well, I just want to say, who's got the last laugh now about Anthony Kay being better than Ranger Suarez? I just want to know, because I was right the whole time. Ranger sucks. Anyway, Anthony Kay been pretty damn good. This White Sox team too robbed back-to-back days. They finally got the win today. But I should have been a rich man after this series because I was right about all 3. Right read, wrong results. Anyway, they're back home. They got the Braves. Braves coming off the sweep. They're traveling in here. The White Sox, they're driving 30 minutes to the south side to go home. Big deal. They probably stayed at home the whole time and just went up to the.
What do you think?
Yeah,
they flew to the other
No,
side of Chicago?
I was just stupid and not thinking. I was like, oh, they probably stayed at a hotel. And then as I'm talking, I'm like, wait a minute, why the hell would they do that?
No, they didn't stay at a hotel to go to the other side of Chicago, dude.
Whatever. You know what? I don't know their travel situation. I don't schedule it.
I'm not a travel guy.
Yeah, I'm not a try. I stay stationary. But the Braves, their bats are broken. They don't look good. The White Sox are much better at home. We already know that. And this is a back-to-back day. They see a Holmes. So, I mean, they won off one Holmes. It's got to be a good sign. But the bullpen has much better arms for the White Sox. No Grant Taylor. But they're going to have Brian Hudson's going to be available. Whoever else out of that bullpen, I'm drawing blanks on them on the name here. Oh, yeah. Hudson's going to be available. Hagen, Smith, Brazaban, Hicks, Schweitzer. Shout out Jose Urquidy today. They got everybody available. The Braves can't hit. They can't score. Anthony Kay's been damn good. Grant Holmes, I'm not a guy I really trust too much. And this White Sox team, they're not traveling. They're in the same city, so they're fine. They don't have to travel anywhere. They have the Mets on deck. Who cares? Nobody cares. The real travel spot is the Braves for the Brewers because that's Sale versus Mizorowski. They're definitely getting ready to. They're looking ahead to Mizorowski. They're just stopping in here to get their asses beat. So I already bet the White Sox for tomorrow. This is easy. Best team in the AL.
This
Kyle?
is easy, he said.
Kyle, I just emailed you a graphic if you could share it with everybody while Spoon is talking. Just it gives a little bit of credence to what TV Jones is talking about. I just wanted people to see the numbers to have a visualization of it.
TV Jones
Because
says,
I don't know what you're showing, but it's a what have you done for me lately league.
It's to back you, but not back you. He's got a better WAR. Depends on what you like. That's all. So take that for what it's worth. He has a better WAR than Ranger Suarez. So technically, you're not wrong, TV Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to point that out.
Ranger, they're going to win more games. It's just facts.
So touche, TV Jones.
Spoon, what are your does the weird scheduling spot for the Braves do anything for you, or do you not care?
So generally, I don't like it, but they're geographically all located very close together. Like it's not like you're flying from Houston to Seattle to the middle of the country or anything. They're all very short. I mean, Milwaukee to Chicago, I don't even know you necessarily get on a plane for that. Anthony Kay, Grant Holmes, two pitchers that have outperformed, I think, most people's expectations for them this season. Grant Holmes is coming off his worst outing of the season versus Arizona. I think he bounces back. I know this White Sox team has been hitting pretty well, but you go through the lineup, Murakami at the top, Vargas, two very dangerous bats. How many runs are they really going to get off Holmes? Like 3? I mean, I think that's realistic expectation over 6 innings. And then on the opposite side, like how many are you going to get off K? I think 3 is another equal expectation. And then when you get into the bullpens, I know Atlanta's bullpen has been pretty shit over the last month. But Iglesias has not pitched in 3 days. He's good to go. Fuentes is good to go. Lee's good to go. Suter's good to go. For the White Sox, it always comes down to me for Grant Taylor. Like, he's the most important piece in that bullpen. He's pitched back-to-back days. I do not expect to see him on a third day in a row. Outside of that, Sean Newcomb's likely unavailable. You'll have every other arm. They can piece together when, I'm sure of it. But I like the Braves at this number. I think the market has climbed significantly on the White Sox. I know they're exceeding expectations, but still don't really trust in it. Like, if you're taking the best reliever out of this team, I just don't know. And they have a really big series on deck as well. I like the spot for the Braves. Definitely travel spot wise, it does favor Chicago. I mean, you just basically got to stay home. You're going to stay home. There's no issues there. So I see that side of it, but everything else for me is Braves.
Well, I think the spot to fade the Braves would be tomorrow, because this is not a unique travel spot to travel and then play a game the next day. The unique thing would be to travel 2 days in a row. And to, after this game, the Braves go immediately to Milwaukee and see Mizorowski. So I think, and with Chris Sale on the mound, so we'll probably get the Brewers at an affordable price with the Braves flying twice or whatever. So I'm down to play like Brewers -1.5 against Chris Sale or something the following day.
Now you're talking.
But the Brewers also are trash.
Yeah, best record in baseball, super trash.
Hey, best record in baseball.
Did I not call that or what?
Yeah, he did.
I'll I'll be laughing when I cash my best record in baseball ticket.
TV Jones, I made a joke about the Brewers sucking, and it got like on Twitter got like 70 likes. So I'm not the only one.
Cool. I mean, you got more followers than I did. I mean, if I had your followers, I'd be getting like 1,000 on every anti-Mets tweet I do.
1K a clip.
1K clip. Oh yeah. Off like hotcakes.
So, is the Milwaukee Brewers faithful nervous after today?
What's there to be nervous about? I mean, that's, if anything, that was a resilient effort we saw out of that crew today. I mean, you go down, you get smacked in the face, you come right back, and you make it a game. Should have won the game with how many guys you left on, but regardless, it is what it is. But it was Logan Gilbert. He's better on the road. The thing about Mr. Kirby, he is not. His ERA balloons about 1.5 or almost 1.5, 4.55 on the road versus a 3.4 ERA, a 1.52 whip, and the strikeout rate drops 1.5, and the walk rate's about the same. So he's not good on the road. We know that about a lot of these Mariners pitchers too. Last time he went to Houston, he gave up 5. Went to Texas, he gave up 7. Miami only gave up 2. So good for him. Pittsburgh, he only gave up 2 as well. But 3, 1, 2, and 2. Those were on the beginning. So if you want to go the last 3 or 4 starts, he's been kind of getting hit up a little bit. Sure, quality starts for some of these, but he still gets hit up. He's got some walk issues. The contact has been up there. 8 hits, 7 hits, 8 hits, 9 hits, 7 hits, all on the road lately. And then you're going to parlay that with some, a walk or 2 a game. This Brewers team is going to take advantage of you because they can definitely draw some walks. Now, I'm not saying George Kirby's a walk machine, but this Brewers team is one of the best in baseball at that. The last 2 weeks got a near 13% walk rate. I mean, they're going to get on base, and they're going to get those hits in. Now, the bullpen, not too concerned, to be honest. I know they used a few arms out there today, but, I mean, you're still going to have McGill.
No Uribe, though. I like Uribe.
He's on IL. Yeah, he's been gone. It is what it is.
So you trust Chatty P?
Chatty P, if he comes into the game tomorrow, it's because we're getting blasted like we did today. But Sensatella only threw 14. You're not going to see Wilson, DL Hall, and I highly doubt Grant Anderson, but I wouldn't put it past Murph if need be. But the better arms we need are going to be available. You're going to have McGill, you're going to have Ashby, and then Sensatella is going to be available as well. And Bobby Gass, I mean, this guy's going 5-6 innings consistently, and it's not really an issue for him. The last 2, he's given up 3-3 in those games. That's not ideal. The walk's a little bit too, but he doesn't give up a ton of contact. His ERA is about 2 points better at home than on the road. His whip is a 118 at home and a sub 7% walk rate at home. I mean, he's just fine. The last time we lost at home with Bobby Gass on the bump was against San Francisco, June 3rd, in his 3rd ever start. So I'm not too concerned with that. That's 5 starts in a row where he has been phenomenal. So I'm not worried about this Mariners team that can hit. They found a couple of hits today against Dustin Manna's worst outing of the season. Bobby Gass ain't gonna have that with that arm, with that bullpen and the offense. Again, you could say they look stagnant, but they still put up 5 and had chances to win the game. It was just the Mariners happened to score 7. It is what it is. So give me the Brewers. At this price, I don't hate it. I might just stab a little bit on the money line as well, or run line.
I think TV Jones has hit his quota for most shitty Brewers nicknames giving out. We got Bobby Gass now on the mound.
Dude, Bobby Gass is sick.
You're not even trying anymore.
Bobby Gass, I mean,
like that's actually his name though. So
Robert Gasser.
So, but you know what is in his name? Drone Strike.
Shane Drone, whatever.
What was the first one for that?
No, it was you don't mess with the Drohan.
Drohan.
And then he realized he was pronouncing his own pitcher's name wrong.
I still like that one better.
I do too. I might go back to it because Drone Strike just doesn't hit. It doesn't hit.
Toast, do you trust Bobby Gass?
The Drohan gets me every time.
It's not even how you say his name.
We've been doing this show for a long time, and there's times you just have to take a stand. And I've said this for years now. It's George Kirby till I fucking die. And you know what's funny is you talk about all those road splits and whatnot. It's kind of one of my favorite sayings that some of the comments are starting to catch on with. It's a lot of empty calories. Like, look,
the 2 times that he's been hit up on the road were by Houston and Texas, 2 divisional teams. He had 1 random bad start on the road in Kansas City earlier this year. But besides that, he's been absolutely fantastic. The last time I checked, the Brewers aren't in the Mariners division. They don't have a book on George Kirby. George Kirby had 3 walks. That is like, that's like TV Jones buying a new car and ditching that Ford Taurus that he has. Like, that's just not doesn't happen.
Old detective car.
And trading out his 12s for like 6x9s. It's just not going to happen. But I honestly feel that he can really pitch well. I know that this Brewers team put up a huge number on Tuesday, and both teams ended up scoring today a little bit. But the previous 10 games before that, the Brewers ended up getting a few runs late against the Billionaire Boys Club in the 7th and 9th inning on Sunday. But prior to that, they had scored more than 4 runs once over their last like 8 or 9 games. So I'm not in this position where I'm like super worried about this Milwaukee offense. Am I worried about this Seattle offense versus Gasser? Yeah, absolutely. But it's more of, I think that Kirby can shove, and I'm not going to bet Seattle because I know that Milwaukee's going to take money, but who's not going to be betting Milwaukee tomorrow at a cheap price? And I'm going to be sitting there with a Seattle ticket in my hand. I'm excited for tomorrow.
There's a lot of heat in this game. I would love to get in on it. I kind of, before I pass the rock to Spoon, I kind of am buying what Sports Scientist Jacob is selling in the comments with an over. Spoon, any interest in possibly an over? Bobby Gass sucks, and George Kirby, Toast says a weird thing for him. You got to take everything he says with a grain of salt. He has like a little adorable little saying for George Kirby. So I think, don't you think this should be 8.5, Spoon?
I don't know about 8.5. Like, Seattle's bullpen is a little bit taxed, but they're not in a situation where anybody's necessarily unavailable. They just might shy away from using.
I don't trust any arms in that bullpen anymore. Last year I did.
That's fair. And then Milwaukee side, Uribe is unavailable right now. He's on the IL. So it's Ashby, McGill, Chad Patrick, go-to guys right now. They're all nice and fresh. So like they're in a good situation. I'm buying what Toast is selling here.
Wow.
I like Seattle, but I like it first 5. It's plus 100, first 5 money line. It just puts Kirby up against Gasser. Like, I don't know what kind of gas Robert Gasser necessarily have. That's like E85, the lowest octane you can possibly get. He's throwing a 92 mile an hour 4-seam. What are we doing with that?
Bobby Gas.
I think Seattle's bats are a big question mark if you're going to try to back them right now. Like versus left-handed pitching, they haven't been doing a lot. Just got blanked by Harrison. Fried shut him out for 1. Weathers 1. Seymour 1. So it's difficult, and that's another reason why I don't like the overs. Just because, like, I think Seattle should be the edge here because they should be able to score off Gasser. I just have a lot of question mark with these bats right now. Obviously, they came alive today pretty early on. That was a nice first inning. I think we have a giant pitching advantage with Kirby over Gasser, and the numbers don't really reflect it. I don't feel like the market is saying that right now. The last 2 outings on the road have been rough for Kirby, and TV Jones mentioned Gasser's been like just lights out at home, but it's been the worst teams he's seen at home. Like the Colorado Rockies on the road, that's one of the worst offenses for years. Everybody's fading them. St. Louis, like Miami, I don't know. Going through this, I'm not a huge Robert Gasser guy. I think this is a early St. Louis or early Seattle spot. I just don't know if we can get there with the bullpen.
Really quickly, Sauce, can you pull
offense from those?
Speaking of the Mariners offense, pull up the Mariners offense versus left-handed pitching, the game logs. Which category does Robert Gasser fall into? I'm going to split this in half. Does he fall into the category with guys like Harrison, Fried, Weathers, Seymour, Valdez, or does he fall into the category with Rojas, Prelip, Lauer, Robleski, Gore? So whatever one you want to pick, I think that he falls in the second one. I think that
I'd say he's a Seymour, Valdez, Prelip kind of guy.
TV Jones gives this guy nicknamed Bobby Gas. He throws a 92-mile-an-hour four-seam. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Well, yeah, when he hits that changeup at 79, that's going to look like some real gas coming at him.
Yeah.
What type of gas was that, Spoon? I got to write that down so I can talk shit to TV Jones
85
later.
octane.
E85.
That's the lowest. I think regular gas is 91, right, Spoon? If you fill with
87.
87, 91's premium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's Mizorowski. He's
that makes sense.
He's diesel.
That makes sense. He's in Milwaukee.
No.
They're cheap.
Hunter Brown's the diesel. Mizorowski's the jet fuel, the racing fuel you get at the gas station.
You get racing fuel at your gas stations?
You can't. Well, there's a racetrack about 15, 20 minutes away. So the gas station there has whatever the JetBlue or whatever the hell that racing fuel is.
Dude, where do you live? Yankees Orioles are in Baltimore. Garrett Cole. Spoon, I believe this is another one of your first threes, and I gotta say, I wouldn't be opposed to tailing you on this one.
I mean, this pretty much speaks for itself. We have two really good pitchers on the mound and two kind of subpar offenses. I know the Orioles are starting to turn it around here a little bit recently, but we look at the last month, they're still bottom 25 in OPS, 23rd in weighted on base. It's not an offense I really trust. Garrett Cole looks better on the mound every time he pitches. My friend Jimmy just went and saw him last Friday there in the Toronto game. He was just absolutely lights out. Same thing in Atlanta versus the Cubs versus the White Sox. He looks locked in, dialed in. I don't expect Baltimore to do much to him. And just the way the Yankees are hitting right now, who are they getting to? Nobody. And Kyle Bradish is a very good pitcher. 2.5 runs is too much here. You already have the number up there, minus 122. I think that closes in the 140s.
I'd be inclined to let me see the price. My 122 is a little I got to go minus 128 for the first 5 under. Toast. Wait, what do the Yankees use in the bullpen tonight?
Everybody.
Oh my God, they wanted.
So okay, that it looks bad.
They'll use Bednar 3 days in a row. Definitely, they will use him. They do all the time. Well, not all.
No,
the time.
I know he is 3 of the last 4 though. So
that would be 4 of 5.
No, 3 or 4. Oh, that would be 4 or 5. Yes, correct.
You can put the Yankees up for me, and I'll talk about it and how we get 9 innings. I think that Garrett Cole can go 7. He's started to hit that number his last 5 or 6 starts. This Baltimore offense can't do dick versus right-handed pitching. Love them versus lefties. Definitely do not like them versus right-handed pitching. I know that on our spreadsheets, the numbers pop for the last 14 days. That's because they got Bailey Ober and Zebby Matthews, and then a couple runs against Freddie Peralta and Tyler Wells. Who cares? Dean Kramer went 7 innings against this team. Evaldi looked good, and Evaldi doesn't look good, but anybody. I think that Garrett Cole can go out there and pitch well. He's also absolutely dominated this Baltimore lineup his whole career. And I think that if he goes 7, I think that you probably see Cruz. You probably obviously you have Yarborough, you have De Los Santos. I think they can piece together. You still have Tim Hill as well. I think they can piece together 2 innings because I really think that Cole can pitch 7 innings tomorrow. I'm not the biggest Kyle Bradish fan. He's been really good. It's not really a fade of him. I just feel like this Yankees offense isn't good. Yes, but again, like I talked about yesterday, why I didn't bet them, and they kind of got lucky to win. But look at the right-handed pitching that they have faced. Baz, Cease, Woods Richardson doesn't matter, but Gilbert, Miller, obviously he's broken, but Wu, Holmes, they've been seeing some pretty decent right-handed pitching. I just feel like the Yankees have most of the advantages in this baseball game. It's not like the Orioles bullpen is in perfect situation either, and they've been floundering over the last couple weeks as well. It's not really a unit that I'm in love with. It's the Yankees. I don't know if I can actually do it though. I would need under minus 115. You can trade that, but yeah.
So I'm considering Operation Get My Lick Back. Me and Jones run the Orioles, and to the comments, Pete Alonso's ball that wasn't foul. It wasn't
robbery,
but the Yankees scored 2 runs the following inning though, so they still would have lost.
I still can't believe that happened though.
How is that not a home run?
I don't get it.
Wild.
It's 2026. We don't have sensors or anything.
One look at it.
I just
how do you like what you do? We didn't have enough evidence to overturn. What are you talking about? We're staring down the line watching. What are you,
that was wild.
rigged? MLB rigged.
Rigged for what? The Yankees won. Like they scored 2 runs anyway. It wouldn't have mattered.
It took all the momentum away. I mean, that was what, bottom 7 or something, and a big home
Vegas
run
made
there.
the call.
Did you see the Marlins Phillies foul ball call the other day? Like
Dude,
clear as day.
The Otto Lopez
Fair ball.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
that
didn't
was
award,
terrible.
like they took a base away completely. Like,
Because
you
it was
got to use your best judgment
behind
at
the
that point.
umpire. It's unbelievable.
What are you doing, Jones?
Anywho, yeah, here. I mean, first off, you got to talk about the Yankees offense, or whatever they call it. How many times have they scored 4 or more runs the last 10 righties they've seen? Wrong. They've only done it 3 times. 3 runs, 4 runs, 1, 1, 0, 10, 4, 1, 3, 1. They can't score. They cannot score. Their bullpen and pitching is keep them in these games. 1 run given up, 3, 4, 3, 1, 5, 1, 2, 2, 3. But what is Seattle scaring you? Atlanta scaring you? Toronto? Okay, Toronto a little bit right now, but I mean, none of those teams are really that scary. And now Baltimore, sure, their bullpen's been a little suspect, but the last 5 games they've scored, or versus righties, they've scored 5+ prior to tonight. I'm not afraid of their offense. You saw the bullpen as well for the Yankees completely cooked. I trust Baltimore's offense way more than I trust the Yankees. And this game is also potential for a delay. And the last time that happened in Baltimore, they started the game and got Chris Sale's ass out of there in like the 1st or 2nd inning. I'm not going to be surprised if they try to get this game started and try to get Garrett Cole's ass out of there so that they can fucking just deal with that bullpen. I'm all over the Orioles here in this one. Let's go.
And look at the Yankees bullpen. So let's say that does happen.
Cool.
Let's say there's a delay 3 innings in and Garrett Cole has to come out and there's a delay and then he can't come back in. Paul Blackburn has gone 2 days in a row. Fernando Cruz 2 days in a row. Ryan Yarbrough will probably come in and pitch as much as he can. I mean, the Yankees don't have that flexible of a bullpen situation here. Let's go, Jones. I'm not living on
Hedrick and Bednar are cooked too. They're not coming out. Let's do it. O's up. I've got O's.
Also, to your guys' point, if you are betting Baltimore, Tim Hill, a guy that's available, Ryan Yarbrough, if there is that delay, is the long leader. They're both lefties. That's a positive if you are betting the Orioles.
All right. Yeah, I think that should be about a coin flip, plus 100 on each side.
I hope they start the game just so they can get Garrett Cole's. That'd be so funny.
All right.
I'll be laughing if it does end up happening. That's
because
sure.
you can't have your good pitchers going in Baltimore if there's chance for a rain. Now it's going to become a pattern.
Nationals Rangers in Arlington. Spoon, where are you at on this one?
I struggle with Jacob deGrom right now. I don't really feel like we should be making him a minus 150 favorite because like that kind of infers that you're expecting a healthy, regular deGrom to walk out there who's going to give you 6 innings, 2 earned runs on a bad day. And that's not the deGrom we have in front of us right now. Washington's offense has definitely taken a step backwards, but I think they can get some runs off deGrom tomorrow. Alvarez has been more than what Washington has expected. He's forced his way into this rotation, and he's fighting for a spot next year. I think Washington's live in this game. First 5, probably more so than full game, but I just can't do deGrom at minus 150 right now. I feel like that's improperly pricing where he's at. I don't think we get a full 5 innings out of him, and I don't think he's going to look in charge. I'm going to see if there's a first half price now. Washington is plus 150 money line in the first 5.
TV Jones, would you say deGrom is entering a slumpy slump?
Cash the ladder.
Woo!
Wow.
Jonesy.
I was talking important stuff too. It's B-Chat giveaway in Baltimore tomorrow.
A different shade of purple in that. You can't even.
He was so bad. He was so bad when the Cubs won this game.
Well, this is worse that I lost the way I did, and then I had to do it on this show.
You were like legit mad. I couldn't even laugh. I wanted to.
I was
like,
laughing, and then I saw how mad he was. Like, I was laughing, and I saw how mad he was. I'm like, oh shit, I guess we shouldn't laugh.
Yeah, no, I don't care if you guys. That's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I was really, really wanting the White Sox on that, and it was brutal. But hey, I recovered. We went right to the Orioles and lost with that one too. But I kind of like Washington here. I mean, the Nationals, I know they're not a who's who team right now, but why is DeGrom this expensive? He's in, as you said, a slumpy slump, Kyle. I mean, you can't, we can't really fully trust him right now. And then Texas is also a very pitcher-friendly park. Alvarez hasn't been terrible. I mean, the last time he had a really, quote, bad game at Colorado, he gave up 3. And then the Yankees, he gave up 3 and 5 there. Other than that, he's been pretty damn good this year. Again, he's starting to go a little bit of length, 5 innings plus in the last 3. They are 1 and 2 in those games, but it's not like it was his fault for anything. 2 earned, 1 earned, 2 earned. He did give up 3 walks at Philly, but I'm not really too concerned with him against this Texas team. I mean, they haven't really done a whole lot of anything in a minute here. I mean, Jock Peterson not being in the lineup too, that you could argue that kind of hurts him because he was weirdly hitting homers. And DeGrom, he's fine, but he gives up runs and some walks at times. The strikeouts have been going down the last 4. He's got 3, 9, 3, and 4 strikeouts. Far cry from what he was doing, but he is very good at home. Like, he is very good at home. Sub 3 ERA at home, sub 1 whip, 32% strikeout rate. Very good. I just don't trust this Rangers offense fully here. I don't trust DeGrom as this price. It's just too expensive. We're getting a fat price on Washington. They look damn good today. These young guys are stepping up and playing some good ball. The bullpen hasn't been horrendous as of late either. At this price, I don't know how you don't fire on Washington. I'm hoping people like Texas and bet it up, but I think Washington can get it done again. I mean, especially at this price. You want to lay that with Texas? Couldn't be me.
I don't know if I necessarily want to lay it with Texas, but I do understand why it's priced here. Washington hasn't been all that good.
It's also casino night.
The Nationals have been losing a lot of baseball games, Jones.
Oh, yeah, but what, Texas is that much better to where we should respect the grind?
I mean, the Nationals are, what, 2 and 6 in their last 8. They're 6 and 12 in their last 8. Like, they're a bad baseball team right now.
I never said they were good. But.
Yeah, so, like, where are you at, Toast?
To answer that question, I think the Nationals and the Rangers are pretty close. I mean, 62 and 64 to 67 and 60 for the Nationals. So the Rangers are 2 games better. They're coming into today. They were both 4 and 6 their last 10, 6 and 14 their last 20, or 8 and 12 their last 20. I don't know. I played over 7.5. I've already bet this. Probably the one bet that I really love tomorrow. I disagree with TV Jones. I'm not really worried about this Rangers offense versus left-handed pitching versus right-handed pitching. Yes, no question. But they have guys that really can dominate left-handed pitching. Langford, Berger, Nimbo, Duran, Foscue, however you say his name, all like really dominate left-handed pitching. Elias Diaz coming off the bench is over 100 WRC plus as well. I think they can put some runs on the board tomorrow against Alvarez, who has been really good. I will give him a lot of credit, but I don't know. I don't really think that it's going to continue. And it's not, again, I got a 7.5. Even if he gives up 3 runs and has a decent start, I still think that we can get this over, because with DeGrom, it's not so much like, I mean, at most you're going to get 5. Like I would highly, highly doubt that he goes farther than 5. And even if he gives up 1 run, this Rangers bullpen has been pretty piss poor. They have a couple guys that have went, but regardless, I think that this game should be 8. I think it's going to be 8 tomorrow. I've already bet this over.
Oh, over, you said.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put over up. I have no interest in this. So over, you like. All right, let's move on to the last baseball game, and then I'll talk some college football. Angels, Astros. What was the final score? 3-2 tonight?
I thought that Angels Guzman or whatever hit a home run. That was a double?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if you guys watched it. It was a tank, and it was just a double.
Any thoughts here, Toast?
I mean, I'd like to play Houston in a way, because I think that Peter Lambert has a pretty significant starting pitching advantage over Grayson Rodriguez. But I don't really want to pay this price, especially the Astros. They're going to have everybody available in that bullpen, but they all did work today. And I still think that this Angels bullpen is at least decent enough. They're going to be asked to probably work a lot because Grayson Rodriguez doesn't go deep into this game, but I don't know. It's just really hard to figure out this Astros offense for me. I know that on paper they can look really good at times, but if you notice over the last couple of weeks, it's been really, really hit or miss. And our spreadsheets show that they're 28th in WRC plus. So as bad as Grayson Rodriguez has been, and as much of a pitching advantage that I do think the Astros have, I'm not looking to pay this price. So it would be the Astros for me, but I'm not betting it.
Someone in the comments as soon as we got to the game says, don't pick the Angels, Toast. I'm not tailing. And then Mr. Weskers chimed in with some analysis of his own. He said, I could outpitch Grayson Rodriguez.
Okay.
Meaning him, not me. I wouldn't claim to outpitch Grayson Rodriguez. Weskers is claiming he himself could outpitch Grayson Rodriguez. TV Jones, what are your thoughts on Grayson Rodriguez? Would you consider yourself an enthusiast?
Intrigued. I'm an intrigued individual when it comes to Grayson. As of late, I mean, it hasn't been god awful compared to what it was. I mean, he was giving up 6, 7, 4 runs consistently. Last 3, 2, and 2, but he is only going 5, 7, 4, and 4 innings. Not really ideal, but I mean, at home, he's got an 8.82 ERA versus sub. I mean, I talk a sub 5 like that's good, but still, I mean, 3, almost 4 ERA points lower. The WHIP, it goes from 187 to a 122 on the road. At Miami, he was fine. At Baltimore, he went 7 innings, 2 earned. They lost 1-3. Houston's offense isn't like any good either. I mean, both these teams are basically about the same. A 76 and a 75 WRC plus last 2 weeks versus righties. 281 WOBA, 276. The Astros sitting around a 21% strikeout rate, but only a 6% walk rate. And the Angels 9% walk rate and a 25.5% strikeout rate. So they're striking out more, but they're getting on base. Peter Lambert, yeah, I'm not saying he's bad or anything, but I mean, he's been giving up some runs as of late. Yeah, it's only 2 of them, but he's going 5 innings in those. The bullpen got used up. Hader's not available today. He got used. And then who else was Hader, Abreu, Okert, Sosa, Blue Ball's on back-to-back. And then the Angels didn't use anybody really. I mean, Murphy, Saucedo, Fulmer. You got Ben Joyce, Fermin, and Natera Jr., Wyman available tomorrow. Like, they got all their good arms. Please, 2 or 3 runs from Grayson. I think we're sitting pretty because there's no bullpen behind Lambert and he doesn't go 6, 7 innings consistently. So I think the Angels can get it done. I thought there was at least a 3-1 game when that Guzman guy hit that ball. I swore it left the stadium, but I was wrong and we lost 2-3. It is what it is, but they still had put the pressure on Mr. Hader at the end there. I don't see why they can't today. The Astros didn't do shit either against that bullpen. So given them the best 2 arms available, I like the Angels here.
Dusty Bottoms, no, enough with your Angels team total under propaganda. I already tried buying your shit. No. He's like 19-2 in the last 21. I don't care if you're 101 in the last 101. Absolutely not. Not again.
It ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess.
It's broke.
Okay.
Oh, it's broke.
19-2 ain't broke.
I tailed once. Nope.
That's just bad luck. That's not broke.
No.
And it's not 19-2. It's at least 3 because they scored 6, 7, 5 on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week.
Oh my God, putting fake numbers in the chat. This is straight propaganda in the chat. Straight propaganda in the chat. Spoon, what's up? Oh my God.
Oh, that was a bad one. Plus 150 to start the ladder.
Oh, muted. Wow.
I really like Peter Lambert. I think he comes out there and pitches very well tomorrow versus this LA lineup. They've not been hitting righties for a majority of this season. I don't think any part of that changes. They've slowly added some lefties. Meckler has added to this rotation. Ballesteros. That they might have 5 lefties in the lineup tomorrow. That's a record for this Angels lineup. I think at one point in the season we saw him start 9 righties. I think Lambert goes out there, deals. Grayson Rodriguez, you guys have already established it. We can't trust this guy. He pitched one really good game versus his former team in Baltimore. And besides that, just wakes up, gets out of bed, gives you 3-4 and runs, and doesn't make it out of the fourth inning. This Angels bullpen, not complete trash, but the mediocre arms that are going to be coming in the fourth, fifth inning are not ones that I trust. I like the outs prop if we can get a 15 for Peter Lambert tomorrow. Anything like a 15 and a third, I like the over there as well. I'm not sure where that's going to open up. I think they kind of lean in on him. I think he's able to be pretty efficient with this Angels lineup. Give me Houston first 5 -0.5 -120.
All right, I'm going to talk some college football. You gentlemen, go enjoy your night.
I got Rockets plus 11.5 -115. That's going to close well. Circa's already at 10.
For what?
Oh, Toledo.
Week 1. I see you have Rockets on the board.
Me and Duck love
Michigan State.
Me and Duck love Michigan State in that one.
Gross.
That's blowout.
Spoon, are you able to do the show tomorrow? Assuming tomorrow's Legeza.
Yeah, I'll be on the show with you tomorrow.
That's on Line Labs. So tomorrow, John Legeza is here. So if you want to see Spoon and TV Jones, they'll be over on Trevor's channel, Line Labs on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
See you fellers later. Go Brewers.
I should have texted. Oh no, he's right here. All right. Yo, man.
Hey, what's happening, Sauce?
Not much. Ready to talk some college football. I gotta say, we're starting out with Toledo here, and I was reading through everything again because I've heard so many people liking Toledo in that opener, and you were the only other person I talked to that liked Michigan State with me. So I was just reading through everything, seeing like maybe I missed something. Maybe these Mercer players are looking better here for Toledo than I originally thought. I didn't physically double down, but I still feel strongly that this Toledo team can't match up, especially on the defensive line. Going into a Big Ten game, they're very undersized on the defensive line, and there's a lot of FCS pieces trying to get plugged in here right away. And like I know that it has worked in the past. Who just did it last year? Like New Mexico just did it last year, a bunch of FCS pieces, but I don't know if they go into Michigan State and have much success. I think Michigan State's offensive line is much better this year. It's healthy. I'm not big on this Toledo team early. Yeah, they killed it in the portal. By the time we're midway through the season, they're going to have a more talented roster than majority of the MAC. So I would imagine they figured things out. But I have no different opinion on this week 1 matchup against Michigan State. So let's get into Toledo. We talked about this team. That was probably like a month and a half ago now. Any of your opinions change about Toledo since then?
Not really, and I agree with your sentiment that Toledo is going to take some time in order to get all the pieces to fit together. And I think that they'll struggle in the non-conference, particularly in this game against Michigan State. This is a popular upset pick there's a lot of people out there that think Toledo is going to go in there and win the game on the field, and I just absolutely would be stunned to see that. I think Mike Jacobs is a good coach. We're going to get the Mercer infusion of talent, and I'll kind of go through the roster on that. But everybody needs to just take a step back and recognize two things. First of all, this Mercer defense, the great all-time elite Mercer defense, was the 2024 unit, not last year's. And then Mercer struggled so badly with weaker competition. They lost against Pioneer Football League non-scholarship member Presbyterian, and they were struggling with Wofford, who's way bad. Yeah, they beat up on Furman and VMI in the Citadel, but I don't really care about a lot of that because, honestly, the Southern Conference was way down. You mentioned New Mexico at the beginning of the introduction for Toledo, and there is so much dichotomy at the FCS level between the teams that play in the Big Sky and the Missouri Valley Conference and about everybody else. If you pluck talent from the Southern Conference or the NEC or the Ohio Valley, it's hardly the same. It's the same division, but it's hardly the same type of player that you're getting as if you were to pull somebody from Montana State, North Dakota State, Youngstown State. It's just such a different level in those two leagues. So I can see why some of that worked at New Mexico. but you have such an infusion of talent. And to start things off with Toledo, their quarterback that's here, John Allen Richter, who sat and waited his turn and is now going to get his turn at Toledo. He might be the worst quarterback they've had here in this system in 10 years. I don't think we're going to see the type of scrambling ability, the ability for him to make some of the throws that Tucker Gleason was able to make. And they lose significant weapons, losing Junior Vandeross and also, I forget the guy, Rudolph, who came in from Northern Illinois. Those receivers were so explosive. And now you got Rico Bond, who's coming in from the FCS level, Jay Dabbs, who comes in from Mercer. It's just a little bit of a different level, and I don't think that we're going to see the offensive explosivity out of the receiver group. Chip Trainium was a great running back Toledo had last season, and he was there for a decent amount of time. He's gone, so we're getting C.J. Miller from Mercer.
I like the running backs, though. I like the run. I think this is a solid running back room. I think Miller and Smith will be fine. So I think they'll be all right without Trainium. That's not the area. The receivers, though, I think 100% with you.
And I think the running backs will end up being all right, but I don't think it's akin to what they had last year. I just think it's a big step back. I think the offensive line is going to be okay per MAC standards. They return a decent amount of players. Matt Hofer is back, Jonathan Harder, Luke Rector, who's a guy who's been in the system for some time. Stephen Gales is back at left tackle. So they are going to be a unit that should have, a top 3 MAC offensive line, but I just don't feel like that's going to be something that's going to help these guys, especially in the non-conference against San Diego State. I think they play Temple, who's a physical team that's going to run the football. And the opener against Michigan State, I think, is going to be very tough. When I look at the defense, I see so much of this infusion. And Toledo, their calling card for years was this havoc defense. They swarmed to the ball. They plugged the run holes. And I don't know if we're necessarily going to see that. I will tell you, Andrew Zock is a dude. He's a good player. He'll make some plays. He'll be in the backfield a decent amount, but he can't do it alone. And now you're going to have guys like Ezra O'Deniger who comes in. They've got Lucas Lampert Pipkins, who gets elevated to a starting spot. Caden Campese. He was injured last year at Mercer, coming over, trying to rebound from the injury. Jordan Farrow, Laith Shama. I mean, it's an okay defensive line, but it's not going to be nearly as tenacious.
They're undersized.
It's undersized. They're very undersized.
I don't have Nathaniel Chandler's weight here, but I'm pretty sure they do not have a defensive tackle heavier than 285. So if you see here,
Chandler's 269.
Yes, he's even smaller than these guys. So here are the 3 guys that are supposed to play on the interior: 285, 269, 285. That is an undersized defensive interior, and they're opening up at Michigan State, a Big Ten team.
Yeah, I don't understand the love. The linebacker room is a decent unit. It doesn't have a lot of wow factor. You're getting Langston Long back. Isaac Prince and Julian Fox are guys that they like. Donovan Watkins is going to play in the nickel when they use some 3-3-5 packages. And so he's a physical player that he'll walk up on the line of scrimmage and do some run blitz stuff, and he can cover in the flats, and he won't be overly intimidated. But I just kind of a middling linebacker group. It'll be good for MAC standards, but when you're talking about a team that's trying to go into a Big Ten environment with Big Ten athletes, I truly don't see it. I think the secondary could end up being okay. Caleb Hutchinson is in at safety. He was a guy who started at the Mercer flavor. The corners, Tyrell Russell and Israel Petit are decent players. KJ Thomas and Cam Jones are FCS level guys. They're young. There's a chance they get exposed in the secondary, and they will certainly get exposed in the secondary in the opener, in my opinion.
No FBS snaps. No FBS snaps in the secondary. Where are they at?
Yeah, and I think people are just, they see Toledo and they have seen them do it before, going into Notre Dame and being real close, playing, beating Mississippi State and playing up at times against better competition. But They went to the shoe a couple of years back, and there was a team that had some drop off with Toledo, and they gave up like 77 points. And I'm not going to call for it to be that bad, but this number is 10.5. This is way too low. I think 2 or 3 touchdown win by Michigan State is absolutely to be expected here. And you know what, Sauce? I'm fine being contrarian here. I'm fine being one of those guys who's on the side of the lower money and lower ticket count, because you know what, Vegas is on that side often too, and I think that's okay for us to be on. Regarding the win total, I think it's probably fair. I wouldn't be stunned if it's 7-5 or 8-4 at the end of the day. I think when you talk about the teams that they're going to play in league play, once they get the talent figured out, Ball State, Buffalo, EMU, those are 3 of the projected weaker teams in the MAC this season. So they'll have a decent amount of football played by the time they host Western Michigan. But then on the back end, Sac State, UMass, Bowling Green, and at Ohio, I mean, those are all games that they should not only win, but they'll be a decent-sized favorite in a good majority of those games. They have to feel really good about lining up against 6 or 7 of those MAC opponents. And I wouldn't be stunned to see Toledo playing for the conference title. It was so evasive under Jason Candle, a guy who did less with more in the MAC than anybody. But I think the schedule actually the schedule lines up for Toledo fairly well when you're getting down the second half of the stretch. But I do not like them in this opener. I'm really hoping it looks quite bad so we get some value on them in week 2 when they host Central Connecticut State. It will not go good for Central Connecticut State at Toledo there. That would be one where you'd lay up to 31.5, 34.5. It lay the number with Toledo there, but don't take 10.5. This is going to get ugly, I think, in the opener.
I agree. I think Michigan State, that offensive line's improved. They're big. I think they're just going to push Toledo's defensive front around. So, yeah, I'm in agreement. Let's move on to Zach Kitley's team, the FAU Owls. Year 1 for Kitley wasn't exactly great, but, I mean, he didn't have a ton to work with there, to give him a little bit of credit. So Kitley coming in, remember, Kitley came from Texas Tech. Last year was year 1 here at FAU, and we knew that we were going to see a rapid-fire pace. We knew that we were going to see a pass-happy offense, right? Just like he ran at Texas Tech under Joey McGuire. And that's what we did see. Wasn't that efficient. I mean, the overall yardage looks great because they ran their offense a million miles an hour. Turnovers were a problem, and that's something that they're going to need to address. In fact, that's kind of the lead story of the offense in this offseason. Can they fix the turnovers? As far as the offense, you would think year 2 under Kitley, it improves. They bring Messer back. That's their wide receiver that came over from Western Kentucky with Caden Velkamp. Velkamp had shoulder surgery and missed spring camp. Not 100% sure how healthy he is, and that's a concern. So as far as FAU's offense, I think most people expect year 2 with Kitley, it should improve. I don't know how much faith I have in FAU there. I think Kitley is a creative offensive mind, so if Velkamp's healthy, I'm sure they're better. I actually think, not really what I expected, but I actually think FAU's defense is a little bit interesting. Again, it's a Zach Kitley team. It's not really what you would think of. Man, their defensive line is pretty good. They're 3 or 4 deep at linebacker. Their secondary has some holes, but their DC, Dewhurst, he was a DB's coach for years. So this is year 2 for him. I wouldn't be surprised if the secondary takes a step forward. A Zach Kitley team, the defense is never going to get the headlines. I think this FAU defense is interesting. Curious to hear your thoughts on year 2 for FAU's offense under Kitley, because I kind of am up in the air on whether or not I think that's going to work. I could be talked either way. I kind of like FAU's defense. It's not going to be great. I think it's way better than people think. What are your thoughts on that?
We'll bury the lead on that here in just a second. Let's talk about this, though, for Zach Kitley. He was a first-time head coach, and you know what? He ran this system at Houston Baptist and Texas Tech before that and a few other places, and you buy into your DNA of what you have hung your hat on for years as a coach, and Kitley did that to a fault. We saw such terrible situational coaching and such poor in-game management, the flippant decision-making, just going for it on 4th down, irrespective of game scenario and where you were at on the field. They did it 68 times last year where they went for it on 4th down. It was way too many. The disregard of the field goal unit in the red zone performance for FAU was terrible anyway. But there were so many games they could have kicked a few field goals and given themselves a real chance to win, and instead they're down 2 touchdowns with no real shot. I think we'll see a lot more appropriate management of those in-game situational decision-making tactics for Kitley. He was a first-time head coach, and he didn't have any time in the seat. And so I think from year 1 to year 2, I think that will really be improved and aid FAU in trying to win football games. Sauce, my man, they were minus 21 in turnovers. You said it. They turned the ball over way too much. I mean, Veldkamp threw 17 interceptions. He was hurt. He played through it. He wasn't practicing a ton towards the back half of the season. He is expected to be fully recovered and ready to go. And I do think that he can approach 4,000 passing yards and 35 touchdowns. I think they're equipped with weapons that will make this offense dangerous. Messer, if he stays healthy, will catch 100 passes out of the slot. It's just the way it works. RJ Garcia has potential. Kelby Valson is a good player. Dominic Henry. They've got guys that can stretch the field and really push the defensive secondary back, which will free up the underneath passing, which they really like to do. Caden Shields-Dutton and Leonard Farrow are decent complementary backs. I don't think we're going to have a real eye-popping stat line from any back this season, but they've got about 3 running backs that can tote the rock, and I think we'll see them sprinkle in a little bit more run to keep defenses honest. The offensive line, the sack numbers, you look at 21 sacks given up, but really wasn't that bad. They surrendered sacks on just 3.6% of dropbacks, which is actually pretty good. You're keeping the center and the left tackle around. Vincent Fayasable, I think is how you say his last name, and Nona are back. Braden Cunningham was elevated from last year's second platoon, and I think he played in a couple of games, so he's a guy they're kind of banking on. Aiden Jones is a guy that has to really prove it. He's coming in from VMI, one of those FCS guys where he's really going to have to play beyond his regular capacity in order for the offensive line to really improve. But it wasn't really a terrible unit last year anyway, and I think they'll at least be on par with that. But what you said, Sauce, was the defense, and I am really excited about a lot of the guys that are in the room here. You can go up and down the D line with CJ Doggett, Jonathan Bax, Jay Grable, Josh Roberts, Wilkie Dunade. I mean, there's so many players in the 2 deep along the defensive line. And even Blake Burris, who was a P4 guy who could shine at this level. There are so many guys that should create havoc, create pressure. The defense was such an eyesore for Florida Atlantic last season, and I think they'll be much tougher up front. In the linebacker room, Leon Hart is back from last season. Joseph Sipp is a great linebacker who was at Bowling Green, comes in from Kansas. I think he could be a force. Nate Fisher made 111 tackles over the last couple of seasons at the FCS level. Kamari Johnson is in. So really a decent linebacker group. This is going to be far from a bottom 3 AAC type of linebacker group. I think it could be a top 6 front 7 at the end of the day for Florida Atlantic. I really do. The secondary, they got 9 or 10 guys that they'll rotate through to try to find the right combinations. They've got, J.K. Johnson is back. Demarius McGee is in. Damon Allen is a guy that I think they feel pretty confident about. Simpson Neely is another player that they should at least feel confident about, who has some experience. Chris Tooley will contribute out of the nickel position. Defense is going to be so much farther along than what we saw last season. It was night and day difference. And I'll be honest with you, for Florida Atlantic, one of the things I was excited about looking at this team, I like over the win total. This team is going bowling, and you can find 5.5 out there. I think this team can beat Navy in week 2. They host Navy. Navy will not be tested in the opener, and Navy's going to give it up through the air. That secondary is going to be a bit thin. Navy doesn't have nearly the offensive punch, and I think you kind of get into this game, and maybe it's Navy who can't keep up. So I like them to win that game. They can beat FIU, Louisiana Monroe, Texas Southern. Maybe Army's pass coverage is also a weak unit. Rice. There's a lot of wins on the schedule for FAU. I believe 9 teams theoretically, and you don't have to squint very hard to look at it. 9 teams can win the AAC, and FAU is one of them.
Yeah, I don't hate the win total. I didn't take a full look at their schedule, and I did notice I put 6.0. You can get 5.5 in between like minus 130, minus 135 range. I put minus 130 up, minus 130 up at 5 up on the screen. If you are taking that, make sure you look around. You might be able to find better than that. So
yeah, and honestly, for everyone listening in, generally in my experience, I value a half a win at about 55 or 60 cents. So if over 6 is minus 110 vig or something comparable, and 5.5 is 135, you want to play over 5.5. It's an important hook anyway, because when you're talking about a team trying to get to bowl eligibility or not, and then with the win total at 6, you got to get to 7 wins in order to get to the window. You want to go over 5.5. That would be the better bet.
So I am in full agreement on buying stock in FAU's defense. I'm a little bit more hesitant on trusting the offense and Velkamp than you seem to be. I'm not sure if I trust them to fix those turnover problems, and I'm not 100% sure, but I am on board with FAU's defense being significantly better. Now, this is I don't want this to sound like a hype session, but tell me why UCF fans shouldn't be fired up for this year, man. Scott Frost did not have much to work with last year. You got to keep in mind, he came in there, he built through the transfer portal, a lot of FCS talent. In fact, I thought at times, I thought this was going to be one of the worst Power 4 teams last year, and at times they looked significantly better than I thought. Now, it was a bad year. They went 5-7, but they had quarterback injuries, and it was year one. Well, year one again for Scott Frost. This year, there's a lot to like at UCF, and I would like to know the counter argument here. Now, you could say Barnett, he only played 2 top 25 defenses last year, Louisville and Oregon, didn't look good in either game. So you could say, hey, does this guy really translate from the Sun Belt up now into the Big 12? Because the 2 times he saw great defenses, he didn't look all that good. I suppose that's a fair point, but in this same conference, you've got Mestamaker over there at Oklahoma State that's never even played a Power 4 defense, and we're already crowning him king of the Big 12. So at least he saw a couple last year. But in all seriousness, I think there's a lot to be excited for if you're a UCF fan. Quarterback, running back combination is great. Hopefully Duke Watson is healthy. Playmaker from Louisville at RB. Barnett, we know he can play. If you've watched James Madison football, you definitely know Barnett can play. Wide receivers could be good here. The kid from Monmouth, I'm sure Duck's going to take us through this unit, but these 2 guys, Darian Thomas, Speedy Thomas right here, they should have some weapons catching passes. Dylan Wade is also a solid tight end. Offensive line has tons of experience. A couple pieces are new, but I mean, you got this guy from Buffalo, over 1,500 career snaps. UConn, over 700 career snaps. There's a lot of experience here on the offensive line. I think there's reason to be excited about this offense. I trust Scott Frost as a coach. I think last year was a little bit unfair in terms of the situation he was put in with the roster he had to work with. So I think year 2, Scott Frost could wow some people. And on the defensive side, they got one of the most experienced secondaries in the country here. Look, 1,000 snaps, 1,000 snaps, 1,400 snaps, 1,200 snaps, 1,300 snaps. They've got one of the most experienced secondaries in the country. They're 3 deep at linebacker, led by their leading tackler last year, Lewis Carter. I mean, everyone's concerned about the defensive line. That's what I'm reading. Oh, the defensive line's going to suck. Man, I don't know. I don't think this defensive line is that bad. Am I crazy for being excited? I think UCF's pretty good.
Way better than last year. You know, the struggle last year with Central Florida is they really didn't have reliable quarterback play, and now they have 2 guys that they can rely on with Alonzo Barnett and Kewan Jenkins, who comes over from FIU. I think this is going to be a really fun bunch this year. You kind of went through it, but Duke Watson, a complete dude. Tavion Swint, Landon Chambers, these are guys that can get into space. The ground game has been reliable here, but the quarterback situation was so bad. And Central Florida was operating against heavy boxes a good majority of the way, and they had to trust guys like Cam Fancher to throw them out of bad situations. Well, couldn't be done. But I think they have 2 viable options at quarterback this year. The receivers are going to produce. Josh Derry was a great FCS All-American receiver at Monmouth, a guy who can stretch the field. He can make catches over the middle. You can hit him on the 4-yard drag and let him run with it in space. Dwayne Thomas was good. Waden Charles is a guy they can rely on. I mean, there's a lot of decent receiver talent here. Day Farmer is another guy that they like. So I think you'll see a lot more of the explosiveness out of Central Florida. It should look very similar to what we saw with Scott Frost when he was here the first time, with the, kind of a more fun offense. It looked a little bit dry last year. I don't think it'll be anything like that this year. You know, the offensive line is really not in bad shape at all, with Tabansi, who has good size at left tackle, Henry Tabansi. Preston Crushman is in. He started last year. Tackle positions look really short up. The center, Connor Meadows, played a decent amount last year. Brady Wayburn is in at guard. Laparca Langston, I think is his name, is a decent player. You know, it's a unit that I think is really going to be able to kind of get the cohesiveness and what they want to do under them the first 6 weeks, and then they'll be able to really kind of make that push for the home stretch in league play. But the schedule, when you look at just for the offensive line, getting a confidence about them, Bethune, Pittsburgh, I think is a game they can feel decently good about going in and competing in. Georgia State, TCU, maybe that's a challenge with the defensive line prowess that TCU has. But, you know, at Houston, at Oklahoma State, I think you get to find out a lot about what you have along the O-line and really the D-line for that matter. Before trying to scratch your way to bowl eligibility the second half of the year, which I think they will achieve. The D-line looks to be in pretty good shape. Horace Lockett and R.J. Jackson are the run pluggers inside. Sincere Edwards and Isaiah Nixon were decent players off the rush edge, and I think we'll just see them having another year to develop. They'll be that much more effective. Bruno Dahl was a really fantastic acquisition from Akron. The guy is 6'7". He's got some quickness. He can knock passes down. He can rush the quarterback. It's decent depth along the D line, and I think it's a fun unit. I think they'll create some havoc, and I think they'll be a problem. Lewis Carter, you said, comes back in the linebacker room, completely the alpha in this room, and a guy who was all conference mentioned last year. I think he'll elevate his play. Tackett Curtis is back. Jaleel Colbreth is back. Decent players that I think they can rely on at kind of that outside backer position. Secondary is in good shape. I mean, it could be the strength of the defense, to be honest with you. All the experience that you mentioned with Bellamy, who was an all-conference player last year, Jaden Williams, Damari Henderson was a good player, Antoine Jackson. I mean, these are experienced guys that will be able to play as a unit, and the communication will be good, and it's just so important in the secondary to have that. So I really do think they're going to be tougher than expected. I think this is a team that goes bowling. I think we'll see strides taken. They're upgraded at almost every single position on the field over last year's team, and you want to circle the spot. I'm telling you right now, because I don't have the date in front of me. Pull the schedule up. When they host BYU plays at home against Notre Dame immediately before that. Win, lose, or whatever happens, they got to get on a plane and go to Florida after playing Notre Dame.
To the bounce
Brutal.
house? To the bounce
To
house?
the bounce house. And you're probably getting 14 as a home dog there. Absolutely no question. That's one to put in the notebook. And mid-October, we'll circle back to it, and UCF will be on our card that day.
Yeah. We talked about it when we were talking about BYU. Like, yeah, we're betting UCF that game. Might even take the money line. So I'm seeing what price I can get a minus 140 on the 5.5. I'm taking that.
Yes, full send off on that.
Yeah, this should be 6.5.
Well, and look at the schedule. I mean, you got Bethune, who's a win. They're 39-point favorites. You're going to be heavy favorites over Georgia State, which is a win. Let's say you get one of the next three with TCU, Houston, and Oklahoma State, which I believe is very possible and mathematically almost a certainty. Then you're 3-3 coming down the stretch. Baylor could be a win and should be a win. At Kansas is a game they have to feel good about. You host Arizona State, Iowa State, and Colorado at the end. I mean, this is a team that could push for 7 or 8 wins.
I completely agree. I don't think we should be able to get 5.5. Completely agree. So I'll put it up on the screen, but it looks like the best I can get, and I didn't do a full search. I didn't search the prediction markets and all that, but I saw 5.5 at minus 140. I might be able to, right after we're done streaming, I'm going to look to see if I can find something better, but over 5.5 wins, I'm going to take it. Yeah, Hino Ball said it in the comments, Iowa State's going to be terrible this year. It's a complete rebuild.
Yeah,
for
and
them.
even Colorado is not complete garbage when you look at the roster. Like I kind of thought coming into the spring that they might be. They're going to be a little bit tougher than you might think, but even Colorado is a game. If you're trying to get to a bowl game and you're at 5-6 and you got to go to Colorado and win, that's a game I think you feel good about going in there and winning.
I moved this along to Liberty. Okay. So we briefly talked about Liberty about a month and a half ago, and me and Duck were both in agreement that this run game should work. They should have one of the better offensive lines of all group of 6 teams. They've got Kanye Udo, who's a monster. We briefly talked about it. So is Deshaun Purdy offer you much in terms of a passer? We'll have to wait and see. But we saw Jamie Chadwell go 13-0, barely passing the ball with, what was that quarterback's name? Then he went to Colorado. Salter. So
yeah, Caden Salter.
We saw Jamie Chadwell with this Liberty team go 13-0, barely throwing the ball. They were like 4th in the country in run frequency that year. So the idea that Deshaun Purdy might not be that much of a polished passer doesn't really concern me because I think they're just going to try to run the rock with this running back room behind this offensive line that should be very good. My concern, and this defense, and I'm sure you'll get to it, but did they fix the pass rush problem? They had 16 sacks. I have it written down here. They had 16 sacks. 10 of them came in 3 games. So in their other 9 games, they had a combined 6 sacks. They allowed 107 I read this article that had these cool stats. 107 fourth quarter points allowed compared to 37 in the first quarter. Did they fix this defense? I know they got Sean Quinn in at DC now, so maybe the change at coordinator, but did they fix the pass rush? Because I'm looking at the edge rushers. I'm not really sure. Their main linebacker is good. He's excellent, Farrar, but he was dealing with an injury in the spring. So I'm concerned about the defense. Do you share my opinion on the offense? They're going to be able to run the ball, right?
Absolutely. I want to say a couple of things about Liberty because this team has not been the same since that 48-6 Fiesta Bowl loss against Oregon. They went out there, they scored first, had a lead, were embarrassed 48-0 the rest of the way. And the last 2 seasons, this team has lost 6 times outright as a favorite. We've seen the apathetic, uninspiring play. It's been difficult to watch from Liberty. I mean, they had a chance to clinch the conference title a couple of years back, and they blow a game against Kennesaw State that was just so pathetic to watch.
What a game that was. That was a great game to watch. But yeah, that was sad.
And it's stunning from a coach that's motivated. You have a program that spends a lot of money and resources to be the best in Conference USA. And, Vasco was hurt last year, so it really looked so jerky and choppy offensively. He never really looked comfortable in this type of system, even though he should have been, because he was recruited to Coastal Carolina to run the same system. But I do like the fact that Jamie Chadwell now is going to reclaim control of the offensive play calling duties, and he's going to provoke more of a rushing attack. I mean, these guys failed to rush for 200 yards per game, and it's one of the rare times that a Chadwell coach team, no matter where he's been, has not done that. But I'm telling you right now, these guys are going to have fresh legs in the fourth quarter, and it is all systems go on. You got Udo who comes in. He's one of 4 guys I'm excited about. Kanye Udo. He didn't get on the field at Arizona State. He got a lot of money to sit there and watch, but he didn't get on the field. Go back and look at the film when he was at Army. He was running angry. He was a monster, and he's going to run through everybody in this league. Liberty is going to score a ton of points, but it's not just Udo. It's Peyton Jones who comes in from Duke. Cam Davis, who was early on was going to be a dude at Florida State. Really good Power 4 pedigree with those 2. Justin Marshall was a guy from Colorado State who was a decent running back at the G6 level. It's just a stocked room. They've got 4 or 5 guys. I didn't even mention Taron Kellman, who played at Wyoming. Just a really loaded up room, and even if they sustain an injury, they can weather the storm, and they're going to have fresh legs, and that's really going to help them. The receivers are okay, and you know what? In this offense, it's all right to just have mediocre receiver talent because they're going to run the ball a lot. They should do some play action off of it, and the receivers should be wide open. So Mekhi Jackson comes in from Indiana, a guy who should contribute immediately. Rayshon Cunningham and Jamari Person give them multiple weapons. It's not an exquisite receiver room, but it is certainly above average. We'll call it that. O-line should be better. These guys were challenged all offseason about their mental toughness, their attitude, the physicality. It was so putrid last year. It was awful to watch. And I think we'll see a revamped offensive line. I think it's going to be a unit with Birchmeyer and Austin Anderson and Val Erickson, DJ Geth. I think it's going to be a unit where these guys play so much more inspired football because Jamie Chadwell's running out of time. These guys do not want a mediocre football program, and we have seen his system work in this conference, but the apathetic play, like I said before, and just players looking like they don't even care, that has to go away starting in the opener against James Madison. The defense, though, Saucin, I don't think the D-line is going to be garbage. They've got some talent in there with Aaron Hester, Marcus Clark, and Mike Jarvis, and I know they like Lorenzo Payne and Piroli, I think is how you say his name. It's not a great unit, but I think they can
undersized.
They can round into a top 3 level Conference USA defensive line, I think. So I think they'll maybe create a little more havoc, but I'm not suggesting that they fixed the pass rush issues, and I don't know if they're going to stop the run overly effectively. Linebacker room is pretty solid with the first 3. I think you mentioned Farrar and then Brenton Williams and Deuce Spurlock. They're decent players. Aiden Vaughn started a handful of games last year, kind of a fun player. And then they've got this other player who comes over from South Florida, Isaiah Guy. And that gives them some kind of unique looks that they can do. He can cover. He can play a linebacker. So, I could see it being just a hair better, but not great. The secondary is where they're going to get torched. These guys are
what the
going
hell
to be,
is this?
It's bad. It is so stinking bad. D. Icy Hopkins, G. Quavius Marshall, Elijah Hopkins, Jaden Davis, Ronald Moore. I mean, these are guys, a lot of them were transferred in and didn't play at their previous stops. Some of them did. I think it's big play potential to be surrendered in the secondary. And so you add all that up, and what I think is going to happen with Liberty, particularly early in the schedule, is you want to bet overs. And so I think we talked about their game against James Madison where the points are coming.
I think we already bet that over earlier.
I know we did. I'm circling back to it for anyone who might have missed that, but I think we got a moderately better number too. It's ticked over 52.5. I think we're in at 50.5.
We got 50.5. Yeah.
Gardner-Webb is a game they're going to score a ton of points. Ball State, they will score on. Coastal, they will score on. Delaware's defense is right at the point in the season where that Delaware defense is going to start to have some roster decay due to injuries, being undersized, whatever else. They're going to score a lot of points against Sam Houston. Kennesaw State's defense is not going to be anything close to what we saw last year. So I think Liberty overs are going to be good, and I really do think we're going to start to see this team kind of put it together. We've had 2 kind of middling to below average or D plus type of effort seasons from Liberty. They don't have a lot more time. So I think we're going to see them play well against Sam Houston, Kennesaw. They get to host FIU, Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky. You look at Western Kentucky's atrocious defensive line. It might be the worst in the conference outside of Sam Houston. Liberty could run for 400 yards against those guys. I do think it's going to be a better football team, but I think they'll be in a lot of high scoring games this year.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm even convinced that JB Chadwell's that great of a coach anymore. I know that college football
he had Grayson McCall, and that's really what made it at Coastal.
Yeah, I said that 2 years ago. College football heads just loved the hire. Then he goes to 13-0, and then 2 years in a row where it's why is this guy not getting criticism? And then we finally started to see some criticism at the end of last year. Finally, I thought the criticism was warranted 2 years ago. This dude has a far better roster than anyone else in the conference. He should win that conference running away every year. So yeah, I Jamie Chadwell finally starting to receive some criticism. That seat's hot. Next up, Iowa. Shout out Josh Witt in the comments. We're talking Hawkeyes. All right, so I am kind of big on Iowa this year, but there's a lot to be concerned about. If you're not big on Iowa, I understand. I feel like we've seen enough to trust Kirk Ferentz and Phil Parker's ability to reload the defense. Like, if you haven't been sold on that by now, if there's one unit that you trust to reload with some pieces that maybe don't look great coming into the season, wouldn't it be Iowa's defense, maybe Lincoln Riley's offense in terms of the weapons he can reload? I mean, we've been through this so many times where Iowa loses 7-8 starters on the defense. We don't really know, it should take a step backwards, and then it comes out and Iowa's a top 10, top 15 defense again. We see it year after year. So I don't mean to say, like, I don't care, but, like, I'm not too worried about Iowa's defense losing 7 starters. We've seen it before. We've seen this movie. It ends with Iowa having a top 10, top 15 defense. They are so good at reloading. That pipeline is crazy when it comes to the defensive front seven there. Not too worried about Iowa's defense. And when it comes to Iowa's offense, we've kind of all just been used to, like, oh, it's going to suck. But this offense is remember, the Brian Ferentz era is over. We're in the Tim Lester era now. Year 1, 78th in success rate, 97th in PPA per play. Year 2, 46th, 80th. The offense has improved each year under Tim Lester. I think Iowa's offense is going to be sneaky this year, even though there are concerns. I wouldn't be surprised if Vanderzee and this tight end here end up being dangerous little receiving weapons. So I'm sure Duck's about to take us through the concerns. There are concerns here with Iowa, the offensive line, but they reload there too. I kind of think the Hawkeyes are going to be pretty good, but take us through it. I know you're going to talk about the concerns.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, this is not. I've got 26 or 27 regular season win plays. I did bet Iowa under 7.5 at plus 125. And this is not one of my favorite plays, but it is a play I made. I'm not enamored here. They brought in Mark Gronowski last year from South Dakota State, had 16 rushing touchdowns, struggled throwing the ball a little bit, but still vastly beyond what they have at the quarterback position. Maybe Heklinski, who we saw shine in one of the scrimmages last week, maybe he's a guy who can run around and make some things happen. They kind of like Hank Brown, too. It's kind of a 50-50 race. And, of course, Ferentz didn't really want to say much about it after that scrimmage, which I think was held last Saturday. You know, this is a tough bet to make because you're betting against program pedigree and a very consistent staple of a team who does all the right things. They don't ever have any off-the-field drama. There's never any of the goofy stuff that goes on like you hear about with a lot of other programs. So it's very commendable. And this is not a situation where I hate Iowa and I think they're garbage. That's not it at all. I think the rushing offense will be fine. Moulton comes back. He was really good last year. And now you're getting LJ Phillips, who was such an exquisite running back at the University of South Dakota. Very, very solid 1-2 tandem at running back. I like DJ Vonham. I think he's a very solid tight end. He could be one of the top 5 tight ends in the entire country.
Yep.
But I don't know if I love the rest of the tight ends in the room, and they're going to need more. And I don't think they have a game-changing, electrifying receiver. I don't think Reese Vanderzee is that, and I don't think the rest of the receivers provide enough pop or zip in the pass receiving game that they really could thrive in and benefit from having it. I just don't think it's those guys. You know, the offensive line is his offensive line. We know this is what Iowa does, but their offensive line is maybe a hair down from last year. I think these guys are, you know, they've got size. They've got guys that have been in the system. We all like Trevor Locke and Leighton Jones and Piper and Jack Dolger, but I wonder. And you know what I really wonder about with Iowa? Can they score enough points? Are they going to be able to get any explosiveness, or is it all this methodical, constant moving the ball down the field slowly? I need to see more from the offense for me to believe that they're going to go to Washington and win, or beat Michigan, or beat Ohio State all in consecutive weeks. I don't know. Defensive line, yeah, they are down. They really do well to develop these guys, but they're down in the defensive trenches. And I don't know if we're going to be able to just automatically assume that whoever they roll out there in the defensive line, they are going to be able to stop the run and create havoc and get to the quarterback. All 4 starters from last year's guys depart. I mean, the sack and havoc numbers were already lower last year than at any point since 2020, and now you're reloading that group and trying to piece it all together. So I don't know. If last year's second platoon is going to necessarily be what it's going to be, There's a lot of losses, and so now you're getting Epineza, I think is his name, Luke Gaffney, Campbell, Drew Campbell's a good player, but it just doesn't seem to me like this defensive line is one that's going to be the enforcer that Iowa has had in previous defensive lines. A little bit of weakness here. I think you look at the secondary and your three best cover guys are gone. You're getting starters that are being backfilled from James Madison, Robert Morris, Villanova. I mean, that's not the Iowa mojo. Pulling from those FCS schools, I could see them plucking from North Dakota State or SDSU or University of South Dakota, where you have a really powerful defensive structure within those FCS teams. But I mean, Robert Morris and Villanova, that's where you're plucking your defenders from? I don't know. But, the cornerstone for Iowa for years and years and years is that Iowa has had and maintained elite special teams. Well, special teams coach is now gone. The kicker and punter are gone. The electrifying return guy in Welchin is no longer there. Do they automatically have these great rock-solid pieces at all these positions to just ace special teams play? I don't know. And so, yeah, they've beaten Nebraska 10 of 11 years. And here's what Iowa does. They play close games every year. And this is one where the Vegas oddsmen know what they're doing, because Iowa wins 8 games every single year. And so, yeah, is over 7.5 free money? Everybody thinks so. Everybody but me. Is it assured they're going to Northwestern and winning? Do we know they're beating Illinois on the road? Do we know they're beating Minnesota on the road? I don't know. I think it's a 3-0 start, and then I think it goes to 3-3 very quickly with Ohio State, Michigan, at Washington, all in succession. Then you got to go to Minnesota. I mean, I don't love Nebraska, but Iowa's not going to beat Nebraska forever. One of these years, that rivalry game is going to go the way of Nebraska. Is it this year? I mean, it's been so close for so many years that I just think when we look at Iowa's DNA with the defensive line prowess, with the elite special teams, they're down. Quarterback play, yeah, they both could be fun guys with Brown and Heklinski, but you know what? They are down in that position. Game-changing breakaway receivers, I just don't know. And so this is not to throw shade on Iowa. It's a great program. It's a commendable program, one I have a lot of respect for. I just don't think it's the year to expect 8 wins.
I would be more on the other side of this one. I think
Are they going to Washington and winning, or Michigan and winning?
You got to give me 5 losses, though.
Well, okay, so Michigan, Ohio State, Washington. I think they could lose against Minnesota. Every one of the last 6 games,
coming off a bye,
with the exception of Purdue.
I would take.
With the exception of Purdue, those are going to be field goal spreads every week.
Wisconsin's not going into Kinnick and winning. Fickle's not built like that. Going into Kinnick and winning on Halloween. Get the hell out of here. That's a win. Yeah, Iowa's getting to 8. In fact, I might go over just to take a stand. Because you're saying, I don't trust Iowa to reload on the offensive line and the defensive front. That's a crazy, if there's one team we should trust to do that, it's Iowa. All right, let's move on to the next one. I got your back, Josh Witt. UCLA. Tough team to break down here. I had trouble getting my thoughts together because a lot of the people whose opinion I trust, they're really big on Chesney. Everyone's saying it's the best hire, and I can't help but think there's a little bit of a Cignetti influence in people's opinions there. What are your thoughts on? I mean, there's tons of experience on the offensive line here. Nico's right. He had all offseason to get healthy. He's got a good offensive line in front of him. The wide receivers, I'm hearing good things, even though they're mostly built through the portal. The defense, they got a ton of experience in the secondary. I don't really know if James Madison's edge rushers translate to Big Ten edge rushers, even though we just saw Cignetti do that with James Madison edge rushers over to Indiana. What are your thoughts on UCLA? I'm all ears because I was having trouble forming an opinion.
It was a little bit of the hyperbole that we saw from Oklahoma State, where everybody just thought that it was going to be the elite portal haul, which I believe UCLA did realize they have great talent upgrades at most positions via the portal. And I like Chesney. I think he's a great recruiter. He's a good motivator. He's a good locker room guy that keeps everybody together. He was excellent. I'm not even going to talk about the James Madison. He was excellent at Holy Cross. Really, really elite in the Patriot League with Holy Cross. And coaching matters. And I could see this coming with UCLA. The very first press conference that Deshaun Foster had when he got up there at Big Ten Media Days, and they asked him a question, and it was deer in headlights, and he didn't know what to say.
Didn't he say
and
they
the
won
question was
116 national championships or something, wasn't it?
the question was, tell us about UCLA football, and he couldn't answer it.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. The guy couldn't do the job.
I remember exactly.
And so he looked up there and he's like, yeah, we're from California. USC's there. You probably don't know much about us. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And he couldn't handle the locker room, the ebbs and flows of the season. Coaching matters at this level. And you're going to get elite level coaching, and you're going to get players to be put in positions to make plays. So many things that UCLA just did not experience. I'm not saying they're going to contend for the conference title, but I do think the initial win total of 5.5 was inappropriately priced. I thought it should have been 6.5. So I don't have a play on the regular season win total, but I do like a lot about this roster. I think you'll see Nico get put in situations where he can actually win. And so many times last year, he wasn't able to win in certain offensive plays. I think it'll be really helpful that they have a decent running back room. Wayne Knight comes in. We saw what he did at James Madison. I think there's a lot to like about him being there. I think Anthony Woods and Javion Thomas are decent complementary backs. I think they're guys that can take the pressure off him a little bit, and you have a competent run game, which I think will work here. The receivers, I mean, they're all new. Everyone's in from the portal, but you're getting Leland Smith in and Landon Ellis, who comes over from James Madison. Matthews and Aiden Mizell is another guy they like. Samaj Morgan was a guy that was very heavily recruited. I think he can get a decent amount of the target share. So you should see some more potency with the UCLA offense. I think it'll be a unit that, I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time for everything to kind of get together and they develop kind of what that rhythm looks like. But it's kind of what fall camp is for as well. So they should have a couple of games in the early part of the schedule against defenses that are not overtly tough before they have to go to Oregon. That won't look very good, but California's defense is not great. San Diego State's defense will be nothing like what it was last year. Purdue at home should be able to iron some of the kinks out, and then you go to Maryland. So I think they have opportunities to kind of get it figured out. And defensively, they should be much tougher. I think we'll see a really tough defensive front, so much better coaching than what these guys saw. And we saw it last year with UCLA Sauce after Deshaun Foster was fired after the embarrassing loss against New Mexico, and UCLA played tough, inspiring football the next 3 or 4 weeks. And so I think when you get a little better coaching in there, you get a little bit of a talent upgrade. I mean, they like the guys they have with Zahir West and Aiden Gobayera, Tyson Ford, McCullough, Amir Washington. There's some talent along this defensive line that I think can really create some problems. And I think it can create some problems for Cal, which is, the matchup that we're breaking down. I don't love Cal's offensive line. I don't love what we saw last year. JKS was pressured so frequently, and they couldn't run the football, so it was all the pressure on the quarterback. They surrendered 32 sacks for California. Just the pressure face, the constant running around back there trying to make plays happen or having to throw the ball away. And he took a pounding. He took an absolute pounding last year, constant pressure. And I don't know if that is necessarily
with no DeJesus.
You have no DeJesus. Yeah.
If you didn't watch Cal last year, DeJesus was their lethal. That dude was so good for them last year.
It was and Cal was a fun team because you know what they did? They beat SMU the last week of the season. They went to Louisville and won. They won some fun games against Minnesota was a good win. They had some good performances, but I wonder with California. I mean, you're getting Tosh Lupoy in. You've got the double coordinator switches. Everything's going to be kind of new for these guys. And I just worry about California. Really, everyone loves the quarterback play and the highlight plays that he made, but I don't. Are they better at running back? Are they better with Chase Hendricks and Ian Strong in there at receiver instead of the guys they had?
I don't care who they brought in. They can't replace. DeJesus was every third down, this dude made a play. He was so clutch for them.
Well, I mean, that's exactly right. He's such a pressure relief valve outlet that was so reliable, and I don't know that they have that guy or that they've identified who that's going to be. And this is a tough spot for them to try to figure that out. So I think that California could struggle more than what people think. I actually bet Cal's win total under 6.5. I think it's one of those situations where the Bears are struggling to make a bowl game. They've got a lot of tough trips where they have to go east. But in this game, I kind of like UCLA. I don't have a bet on this yet. I'll get to the window in some capacity, but I kind of think we see UCLA compete, and I think they can compete well here. I like the linebackers they bring in. I think when you look at guys like Scott Taylor and Donovan Pilot, Jalen Woods, I mean, these are good linebackers. The secondary should be fine. Probably the strongest unit on the field defensively for UCLA is going to be their secondary. Roderick Pleasant is a good player. Te'o Johnson, Scooter Jackson, Barksdale is a guy who comes over. I think when you look at the talent that UCLA has in the secondary and you try to square that up against what California is going to roll out there with the receivers, I think UCLA wins those one-on-one battles. And what's that going to do? It's going to cause JKS to hold the ball. The offensive line is really going to have it, or he's going to receive pressure again, and I think we see that. So I think UCLA matches up well here defensively against California. California, I don't think, is going to be able to stop the run. So if UCLA has any sort of competent rushing attack, which I believe they will have.
Yeah, did you see their offensive line? We kind of skipped over. The UCLA's offensive line is like it's new, so maybe you can make the argument they need time to gel.
It's enormous.
Yeah, Hallschmidt was a great player for Boise State. Two guys from James Madison, one of them's 330 pounds. Eugene Brooks, 700 career snaps. He's 340 pounds. I don't have Jordan Davis's height and weight here, but he has 30 career starts in the Sun Belt. So yeah.
6'5", 305.
Yeah, so they've got some size. They've got a ton of experience. Yes, this unit hasn't played together outside of the two James Madison guys. But also, I have him down here because he was dealing with a minor injury in camp. Sam Yoon has over 1,300 career starts for UCLA. He'll probably be in. So this offensive line is really I think I'm going to bet UCLA money line if I can get it like -110, -115. It's pretty much a pick.
Yeah, it's a plus or minus 1.5 either way, and I think you can shop around and get the best of that number. But California is a team that you can see a lot of people in the media picking to finish fourth in the ACC, and I just do not see specifically where they're getting that. Like, just look at the road trips. I mean, are they going to Syracuse and winning? Do we know that? Are they going to SMU, NC State, at Virginia at the end of the season and winning? We just talked about Stanford, my man, and Stanford blew these guys out last year. Is California lining up mano a mano against that rushing attack and all those big tight ends for Stanford and stopping that? I just don't believe
Micah Ford? No. Micah Ford's running for $120 on him.
I don't think so. I don't know. I think the spot to play California is hosting Clemson right before Clemson has a monster game on deck, and they've got to go all the way out to Cal. You know it's going to be a 10:45 p.m. Eastern kick. Yeah. That's a spot, but I think it's a 6-6 team that just the expectations quickly go from, we can contend in the ACC to, okay, we got a new coach, we got a new coordinator. We're not built from the inside out the way Tosh Lupoy wants to do it, so we're not there yet. Let's try to get to a bowl game. I think that's the expectation that we'll see late in the season. And I think they have to beat Stanford or Pittsburgh to get there, and I don't know that they win both. So I like California under. I didn't mean to derail this with a Cal chat, but I think UCLA matches up. I think UCLA matches up really well with them. Their secondary is going to win those one-on-one battles and force the issue with JKS. I think it's more of the pressure system that we saw from him. And I think UCLA is going to be able to run the ball. So I like those two combinations to add up to a UCLA win.
I agree, and I'll bet that. I'm going to bet that one with you. And then I want to line shop the UC. Was it the UCF? Yeah, the UCLF. I want to line shop that one, so I'll be taking those two with you. Duck, Where can they find you?
Action Network, Big Bets on Campus. We just finished our whole recording of all of our conference previews. We did the G6 over the last 2 weeks, and all those are out. Tons of written articles, and we're going to just start getting right into the week 0 and week 1 rhythm with 3 podcasts weekly. I'm on the Bet US show on Mondays, and I'm going to occasionally be on there on Thursdays as well with Jeff Nadu. VSiN betting podcast I do with Tim Murray. And you know what, my man? Twice a week here with you, Wednesday and Friday nights, which has been fantastic. 500 people still watching at 2:00 in the morning.
Crazy.
Love it. And you know what? We have a guy who in the chat who asked for a couple teams, and so we'll go back and circle back to that. They want to do Colorado and Georgia Tech, so we'll get that on the list.
We have a
and
bet
for anyone
on that.
else.
We have a bet on that.
Yeah, we
too.
do.
Yeah,
we have a good bet on that. We've got some
some
fun thoughts on that one.
Yeah. All right, Duck, thanks for joining. I will see you in 48 hours back here. We'll pick some new topics. Everyone, thanks for watching. Enjoy your Thursday. Make sure to bet responsibly.